Good afternoon, Speed Gaming fans. Good afternoon, Super Metroid fans. We are here at long last. It is the grand finals of the 2024 Speed Gaming Live Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament. This is it, folks. It's the moment that we have been waiting for. The final two, perhaps the most consistent two runners, the strongest perhaps arguments could be made within this entire tournament. It is here, it is time. Shiny Zeni on your left, Oats on your right, the world record holder, the number 4 overall. Two incredible runners waiting to duke it out in what could be as many as 4 races. This is game 1. I am Professor School, and I am joined live in the commentary booth by none other than Sloters27. Sloters, good morning. How are you feeling this morning about this incredible matchup?
Good morning, Prof. I am feeling really excited. As you mentioned, these are two of the best that we have. These two have a bit of history, both in this tournament and the previous SG Live Any Percent tournament we had. So it's super exciting to watch them face off again in the grand finals here.
Yeah, this is going to be an epic matchup. We're guaranteed at least 2 races today, as you and I were talking about in the green room. Oats, by way of winning through the top bracket, does have that sort of pseudo 1-game advantage in that if he wins this best of 3, whether it's in 2 or 3 games, he will be crowned the grand champion of this year's tournament. Zeni, a little bit of a harder road. Only 1 loss in this tournament, and it's actually to Oats in a straight-up 1v1 matchup, a single game. Oats got the better of Zeni in that one, so Zeni gonna have to, quote-unquote, knock Oats out, and then they'll have a bracket reset if Zeni is able to do that, right? So that's the format. Best out of 3. If Zeni wins, he forces that single game, that single decisive game. I don't know, what do you think? This is it's obviously a little bit of a harder task for Zeni. I think he can pull it off. I'd be curious to get your input.
Yeah, I definitely think he can pull it off, and I'm kind of pulling for him, honestly, because I would love to see more Super Metroid today. So if we can get 3 games here and then the final sudden death game, I think we're having a lot of great Super Metroid to watch today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're off series station. Little recap of the tournament so far. Zeni and Oats coming in as the number 2 and 3 seed overall. That's, of course, based on those initial qualifying times. Zeni roasting through the competition early on, taking out Karst and Timon and Scotty Crow. Meanwhile, Oatsngoats had his 3 wins, P-Toil, Tablespoon, and then a tight race against Emmett before the two of them came head-to-head in one of our 2 semifinals. And our other 2 semifinalists no longer here. Zosti and Ruya, very strong runners, were respectively knocked out by these two. So Oats and Zeni have obviously earned their way into this position, and it's just a matter of which of these 2 Titan runners has the opportunity to claim the 2024 championship. We'll be here with you for the action all day long here on Speed Gaming 2. And at least for now, yeah, Sloters and I have the distinct honor of kicking off the commentary. So let's see, we're on Zebus now. I got that double down back from Zeni. Love to see it. And I'm a little bit of an advantage early on for Zeni, just by a hair.
Oh, Zeni falling into a pit there. That could be some potential time save for Oats, who does get through their pitless.
Yeah, it looked like just the timers are not quite synced up. We're about a second off on the timers. But looked like a little bit of a rougher series there for Oats. All important question, what color do we get? Ooh, I don't know, yellow. Oh, double yellow. Okay, so this doesn't bode well for the runners, unfortunately. No, I'm just kidding, of course. Both of these runners known for their incredible early game. Zeni, of course, multiple-time bombs world record holder, you know, mid 4.3x, kind of a nutty pace. Pretty good pace here from both runners, and it looks like based on timer sync, they are maybe about a second and a half apart.
Yeah, I think they were about 2 seconds apart coming out of series, so that seems about right.
Yeah, I don't know. This is even with the potential for 4 matches, it almost seems unfair. The volatility of any percent, as you know, Sloters, can be so difficult. I mean, we can't expect these runners to race for 7 hours, but sometimes these, best of 1 or best of 3 series, if you have one bad race, one hiccup at moat that costs you a minute, it can be really, really punishing. You have a ton of experience yourself running any percent at a very high level. I'm just curious, what is your mentality going into these best of 1 or best of 3 races? You, of course, have the strength of being able to run both Phantoon and Kraid first very quickly, and I know that against some lower rated runners, you'll just run KPDR. Obviously, if you're facing a runner of this caliber, whether it's Zeni or Oats, you have to run PRKD. You got to go all out, which we've seen both of these runners do in the past. What's your approach to a race like this when you're racing another top-seeded runner?
Honestly, you really just have to not get in your head too much and just remember you're playing your own game right now. It's a one-off race. You're going to be making mistakes. You can't hit that reset button when something doesn't go your way. So it's important just to be ready with any backups you need, and to make sure your mental game does stay strong. Otherwise, as you said, if you're playing these best of 3s, potentially 3 or 4 games, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think so far in this tournament, I would have to give the edge slightly to Oats with respect to not only the consistency, obviously the performance having gone through here without a loss so far, including a 2-0 victory, very impressive and exciting matchup over Ruya. But one of the things that I've really noticed from Oats is just because of the world record grind, because of all of the practice that he's put in, as you point out, it's not just the primary strats, it's the backups. They're so fluid, they're so efficient, and his willingness on top of that to go for hard things, even in difficult high-stress situations. I recall the match against Imit in particular, where Oats just went absolutely all out in that match. There was no gravity jump. He went 15-10. He went for the 3-jump baby skip. I mean, every single trick, even in moments where you're not sure if he needs to pull it out, and he goes for it and he nails them. I think the consistency has just been a little bit stronger for Oats, so a bit of an uphill climb, but Zeni obviously knocking on the door of a 40 is one of the few people in this tournament who I think actually could take this off Oats today.
Yeah, I want to add too, it really is a skill, being able to perform in sort of these high stake runs, like tournament runs and like marathon runs like GDQs and stuff. And both these runners at this point have a lot of experience doing that kind of stuff. But you'll see, sometimes really high level runners, when they first start doing these tournaments, you kind of see like those jitters or those nerves coming through of like playing kind of in a different environment than just resetting runs all day going for PBs. So these two are definitely really seasoned, and I think it shows with how consistent they are in every single tournament race they play.
Yeah, truly every single one. They are granted a little bit of a cushion today, obviously, because of, at least for now, that best of 3 format doesn't spell disaster. If you have one bad race, it does put you further behind the 8 ball, regardless of which runner you are. But yeah, we'll just have to see. We're going to have to hold on to our butts here, folks. We probably won't be using all of our seat, but we're going to be with you for the action all day long. We've got a great lineup of commentators as well. Zost and Mishrak and Hockey. We've got a huge list of folks ready to take you through the action. And just a reminder, we got a lot of it going on in the chat, but we do have that best of 3. Obviously, if Oats wins that best of 3, just to reiterate, that will be the Grand Championship winner. Zeni needs to win the best of 3 in order to force that single game bracket reset. And we're in sudden death if we get to game 4, that final game.
So now we're kind of past a lot of the early game where, there's places to lose time, but now we're kind of getting into the areas where there's some important tricks and some important boss fights coming up. One that's going to be coming up shortly is the moat, and being able to get across there first try with whatever method you're using is going to be really important. Otherwise, you're going to get a really nice time loss having to climb back up out of the water.
Yeah, we saw that really lovely Green Hills farm strat there from Zeni, trying to pick up some extra missiles en route to Phantoon. That's particularly helpful as he will be going for a 1 round here in this run. Oats on his end, pretty clean gameplay, had overtaken Zeni a couple small slip-ups just through this upper red tower section. We saw that Weave Morph Ball not go quite well, and just a little bit of a lag there on some of those wall jumps. And as a result, coming into Moat, Floaters, we are like dead even here. We've got timer sync finally. Thank you so much to the restream for that. And look at these runners. I mean, the transition of these doors is almost perfect. Oat's gonna have to lose a little bit of time. I like the farm there, trying to pick up that extra power bomb. It does allow Zeni to retake the lead entering this pivotal moment. Oh no, and Zeni falls into the moat, but he's on the left side. It's okay. A left side fall is not as punishing. It does look he has the backup for the CWJ. Yes, okay, wow.
Very nice.
Holy smokes. So Zeni overrunning the platform, missing that 1 frame wall, continuous wall jump setup, but saved himself just on the left side of that moat, got the in-room backup. Boy, howdy did he set that up so quickly too. Oats then having to horizontal bomb jump, and as a result, Oats just 1 room ahead. And boy, Floaters, don't you love to see it? Chat, don't you love to see it? Oats and Zeni both passed that huge hurdle and into Phantoon. So this is not going to be some sort of, dragging your feet through the waters of Moat. We are both at Phantoon. It's just the skill of these 2 runners and the mettle of pushing them through 1v1. Let's go.
Yep, now into Phantoon. We're going to see RNG play a big role in this fight. And also just their execution. Are they going to play it safe, going for a 2 round for more consistency, or are they going to be going for those 1 rounds?
Okay, no fast for Oats. What has Zeni got here? No fast. Good missile count for both. Health is decent
Oats
for both.
Who doesn't quite get a lot in on that first round.
Was going for a pretty big Doppler there, it seemed like. Okay, and here's the 1 round attempt from Zeni. Oh, that looked so good to start. I couldn't tell if that was 6 or 7. Oh, and Oats trying to clean up his first Doppler was really low. He needed, I think, maybe 9 missiles, 8 missiles on that Doppler. He needed a really big one, just couldn't quite get it in. Zeni should be able to clean up. He had a pretty good Doppler despite not getting the 1 round.
Okay.
Wow, okay. Oh boy. And let's see, 11:22 exiting, so Oats just cleaning things up a little bit faster is going to gain a little bit of time on Zeni here. Boy, howdy. That was close for Oats, though. That could have spelled disaster. If that first super came out, it could have been an enrage. That could have been a very, very large time loss.
Okay, and Zeni coming out of the fight with 132 energy, which is a little low, but as long as he gets some decent drops, it shouldn't be a problem.
Now let's check the rest of the resources. Oats in really good shape here. 12, 10, 4 full health. 8, 10, 4 for Zeni. So at least they have those full supers coming out of left side supers. That's always nice.
Yeah, supers are going to be very important throughout the course of the run, both to be able to open doors quickly and for both the Ridley fight and Mother Brain fight. It's going to be important to keep a high super count through various parts of the run.
Yeah, and to that point exactly, and your previous one, Floaters, on health, Zeni opting to actually burn one of his supers to farm the atomic there in that that main shaft of wrecked ship and get 20 extra health. Specifically what you were mentioning, just a little bit worried maybe about his health, making sure that he has that extra and not relying entirely on the RNG of what you might get through these next few rooms here.
Okay, nice. Oats making it through the bowling room without taking any extra hits, so he'll be at a comfortable 69 energy, picking up his gravity suit. Zeni getting up to 182, so he could take 3 hits if he really needed it, but he'll just take 2.
And it does look like we are going to be about 15 seconds apart for these two runners with their grab touch times. Pretty excellent touch times for both. Obviously, the grab touch world record is low 13.0x. I'm waiting for the day that we see some nutty one-round kill with a 12:59 or something like that. But still, mid 13 grab times, just about mid to high 13 grab touch times for both runners. Really solid stuff here. And if you're trying to shake off the nerves of this sort of a first race, and you're getting a mid 13x or so, I think you've got to be pretty happy with that if you're both runners.
Absolutely. So again, talking about ammo, Oats coming out of here full on supers. That's really great. Zeni only having 8 right now. He could potentially farm some of the CAC attacks in Red Tower. That will cost a little bit of time, but maybe save a little bit time farming with the RNG component there. So we'll see how Zeni approaches it. I'm not sure how conservative he plays it with his supers at this point in the run.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, Oats farming up health there from that CAC. Had taken the hit from one of the crabs and wanted to make sure that the health was a little bit better there. And that just about, that'll give Zeni just a little bit more time to catch up, getting through that section just a little bit cleaner. And on 8, Zeni will never farm supers there, so just going straight through and saving that, whatever it is, second and a half. Meanwhile, I'll be very curious to see. My suspicion is that Oats, who has done this several times now throughout this tournament, will continue to run 15-10, and Zeni, who has, if anything, been a 25-10 runner at a certain point, who was preparing for the GDQ marathon and has some insane low 60s kill times with the extra missiles that he could put to good use against Ridley. I expect that Zeni, as with the most of the tournament, will continue to run 20-10. So that will probably give Oats about that 5.5 second or so advantage, at least early on. But of course, those extra missiles in a lot of places can be really, really useful. What's your philosophy on that? I can't remember. Sloters, did you ever run 15-10, or were you always sort of a 20-10 person?
No, I've always done 2010. Personally, I'm not at the upper echelon like these two, so I'm not really gunning for world record times, but I like how comfy 20 and 10 is, and I also love having the extra missiles on the Ridley fight. I find them to be really useful, so I'm a big fan of 2010 or even 25-10 if you're like Zeni.
Yeah, I think it can be really hard to gauge just how much, right? I mean, pure time save, you're running through that wave missile pack, or you're not, it's 5.5 seconds, right? It's roughly the fanfare. In fact, avoiding that item is somewhat costly in time, so you don't really see the full amount of that time save. It's harder to really estimate, at least for me, the full extent to which those 5 extra missiles can save you. Now, obviously, if you just get hecked on drops, 29 versus 15-9 is the difference between life and death in this game when you're in Tourian after Metroid Room 4. But there's a lot of other places, right? I mean, on Ridley, you can get a little bit of extra time depending on how you use your missiles and what your resources are. There's a couple places where you can do some extra farms with those missiles. There's definitely some places where they can save you back some of the time that you lost. So hard to say exactly, but maybe Oats will gain a few seconds here, assuming no Metroid drops issues in Tourian.
All right, coming out of Ice Beam now, a kind of important mock ball here for the runners to get. Oats is going to freeze these enemies here to use as platforms, and looks like he got a clean mock ball through. We'll see if Zeni can get that as well. It's not the most difficult trick, but if you do miss it, you have to take a much slower path through the room, and that looks good too from Zeni.
All right, Sloters, well, we got through Moat and the rest of Phantoon and Wrecked Ship. Had pretty nice grab touch times. We got a big trick coming up. What's going on with Lava Dive here? When you're in these races, are you ever switching to grab jump, or in these big high stakes races it's just too costly to not go for that much faster strat?
Personally, I always love just going for Lava Spark. I just think it's really cool, and I like doing it. There's always risk in missing it, and missing in particularly bad ways where you're taking more damage. So I say you got to send it. It's the grand finals. We got to see it.
Welcome, Raiders, coming in from Speedrunners Arena. This is your 2024 Grand Finals, Super Metroid Any Percent. We're in the first game of a game of 3 here, coming out of the top bracket. Oats needs to win to get that championship. Zeni needs to win to force a bracket reset. We've got, just a little bit of a hiccup there. Really unusual. Was that only 4 missiles that Zeni had, or did something happen to that 5th missile? I think... Did he just miscount his missiles? What happened there?
Yeah, I didn't really catch that. I think he might have only shot 4. But yeah, he looked surprised as well when it happened.
Yeah, and ended on 0, right? So kind of unfortunate. Oats had lost back potentially some time, was going for that very fast right side Bubble Mountain strat. Zeni goes for a different strat in that room and needed to back that up, which Oats did pretty cleanly. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so I don't know if Oats is watching the restream or if this was an intentional decision on his part. We'll have to remember this for whenever interviews happen after the final race. Oats running 2010 here, so wanting a little bit more comfort and safety. He has run 1510 at some points in this tournament, but either because watching the restream and seeing the slight advantage or having made a decision ahead of time for the additional safety, we will get 2010 from both runners. So a little bit of a less likely chance that we'll have someone hecked by a Metroid Room 4 drops, and then Oats is not going to see any of that sort of immediate benefit of skipping wave missiles.
Yep, now let's watch Oats real quick. He's going to be coming up to the lava dive. If you haven't seen the trick before, he's going to pull off a short charge going into the lava room, do a D-boost off of a Namahe fireball, and then spark at the very edge of the room right before his Shine Spark timer runs out. So short charge looks good. We'll see if he can get the charge and the D-boost. Beautiful.
Nice. Zeni coming up on that trick himself. You'll see Oats now is going to be pausing on the elevator to set himself up for X Factor Ridley's. Zeni had done that earlier in order to be able to use Wave to farm those multi-violas there. Now for his lava dive setup. Okay, a little bit of a hiccup on his stream. I wasn't sure. Oh boy, had us in sort of rapt anticipation, but he made it through, and 2050 elevator touch time. So still just a room and a half or so behind. Oats maintaining that roughly 15-second lead or so. And both runners safely in to lower Norfair, this very challenging section of the run.
Yeah, all the strats here are not easy, and all the enemies do pretty much 40 or 50 damage every time you touch them, or their projectiles. So it's really important to avoid hits where you can. Energy is a resource just like your ammunition, and you can use it to speed up the Ridley fight if you're going to run into tails and stuff like that. So a lot of these strategies are made to conserve on getting hit and conserve on those resources.
Yeah, okay, so Zeni almost bonking the door there. That would have been very, very bad entering Amphitheater here through that bonk. You really need that forward run momentum. Having to turn around, just costing himself 60 to 90 frames, resetting that, and has to be just a little bit more careful than Oats. One fewer hit to give on only, 111 health right now. All right, let's go for this wasteland manipulation. Oats trying to get this so he can get that high hop from that first hopper. Very, very nicely done. And the beautiful, the double KO, not quite there, but getting the majority of the time saved from that first one. Let's see if Zeni can make up a little bit of time hitting that double KO.
All right, Oats already full on supers. And yeah, he's going to come out of here with really nice drops. Zeni not getting that double KO. We'll see if he can get full on drops. Coming in with 2 less supers than Oats did, so he'll need a little bit more from the Pirates.
All right, Oats going to get a super drop here. Let's see. Yep, so full on for Oats here. 12, 10, 5, 225. Beautiful resources. Zeni not quite getting the supers, trying to farm a few extra in that Flower House room. All right, here's the 4x X Factor. First one looks pretty good. No, it does not like the setup, so Oats is going to switch immediately to the beam fight there. Might be an opportunity for Zeni to save a little bit of time, but Only 8 supers entering. Oats was full on 10, so that will more or less balance each other out. Looks pretty good for Zeni on the second one. Is going to go for the full 4 here. Let's see.
Very nice.
Yeah, that Powerhouse farm for underneath is a really nice one that Zeni has been using quite a bit. I've seen a couple of the top runners do it. It didn't quite work out for him as far as the drops, and we'll just have to see what that gap is going to be. Zeni having that beautiful 4 X Factor setup. Oats needing to bail after just the 1, but again, having 2 more supers. So let's see how their efficiency is in their charge here. Wow, a very long time from pickup to explosion, unfortunately, from Oats. Let's see Zeni a little bit faster. No, kind of also a longer one, but they're much closer. The gap is less than 10 seconds now. Oh my goodness. Good health drops for Oats. Zeni is already in pretty good health shape at 124. And the drops are really, really good for both runners. Wow, 4 supers for Zeni, a little bit better. Both of them with very good health. I mean, holy smokes. Chat, Sloters, we were close to 20 seconds at one point. Zeni has been chipping away, and we are within, oh boy, about 8 or 9 seconds with pretty good resources for both to survive this LN, and incredible paces right here for a race as well. Like, still on 41 paces for both runners. This is unbelievable, Sloters.
Yeah, this is really cool to see. There's still a lot of game left, a lot of really technical areas like Meridia, so this is far from over. Okay, coming into these lower Norfair escape rooms, the Key Hunter shaft, Oats doing a nice manip, not getting any hits from the Key Hunters. Zeni looks like he set his up nicely as well, so both of them are going to have a really comfy 3 hits max allowed in 3 Musketeers. So I don't expect them to have any problems.
Yeah, in fact, I'm not sure about Oats, but I would expect at least Zeni here will be going for that faster boost strat with this kind of health on that first Pirate. Oats having the slightly more consistent setup, not taking any damage. Maybe another chance for Zeni. Oh, doesn't get the D-boost, unfortunately, but has the extra hit to spare. Wow, okay. I mean, this is just an absolute nail-biter of a race right now. We are out of LN. Some of the huge early hurdles are gone. Nice boost ball there from Oats. Coming through this door and entering Bubble Mountain. King Cat kill at 26 flat. Let's check it for Zeni. We are just a few seconds back. 5 to 6 seconds right now, folks. Game 1 of a best-of-3 series. Shiny Zeni trying to force a bracket reset is absolutely breathing down Oatsngoats' neck right now. The number 4 in the world, trying to get some pressure on the world record holder. This is about as much pressure as we've seen Oats be under the entire tournament, all the way into Warehouse right now, and Zeni just a few seconds behind. Folks, hold on to your butts. Oh, and I love that little optimization, that little mock ball into the downward super, saving a little bit of time. Whoa, and Zeni's even cleaner.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Wow.
That is really hard to do.
It didn't even look like he hit jump for that mock ball, Sloters. That was incredible.
That's why these two are in the grand finals, because they can do stuff like that.
Good super counts for both. A little bit lower health for Zeni. We'll have to see if that manifests in any meaningful way after Kraid drops in Mini Kraid. Nice little lag reduction here from Oats. Zeni would be doing the same, I expect. Yep, and then additional lag reduction, trying to only have Samus be drawn on the screen every other frame. That's that intentional jump into the spikes there. 10-5, it's okay for Oats. You'd kind of like to be at 6 here to be at 10 from Mini Kraid. Zeni having a little hiccup leaving that room, losing just a little bit of time, but just still within that about 5.5 seconds or so of that item fanfare. Slightly better super count for Zeni, slightly better health for Oats. 165, we're going to get a couple drops from those Zeelas exiting Warehouse, so let's see what they drop Zeni. in some bad health situations, you might actually want to switch from sparking Everest to actually just doing the slower backup strat with the pseudo screw. I suspect Zeni will be okay here, but okay, so Oats doing pretty well here on health, getting the extra super as well, in good shape. 181, yeah, so Zeni should be totally fine here.
Okay, now some big things in Meridia. We have the Phantoon fight, we have full halfy, and also the Draygon fight. So some important execution, as well as managing those boss fights and using your resources efficiently there. So as we mentioned, their resources are pretty good. They'll have plenty of supers for Phantoon so long as they can nail the X factors, and we'll see how they handle the rest of this really technical section.
All right, coming into Phantoon, Oats did save Disaster coming through Fish Tank. Had a very nice wiggle to avoid losing a ton of time in that section. Meanwhile, he's setting up the standard D-Factor setup. You're going to see Zeni do something a little different, closer to what Aziol had been doing. Oh, okay. All right, that's all right. Oats managing to get in there without an issue, finish off Phantoon. You see Zeni use that morph on the floor, and wow, he smoked Phantoon, Sloters. That's incredible. What a time save for Zeni.
Yeah, he continues to chip away at Oats' lead.
Now
And
within the item fanfare. Yeah, they did. Double Yahtzee. Shout out Taki Towner. You can come in here and call it in the next race, my man. All right, huge trick here. Full halfy. It's pretty routine for most of these top level runners, but always does pose the risk of an issue. Oats getting through cleanly despite what looked like a slightly suboptimal ledge grab. Zeni, nicely done. Shave and a haircut, getting close to that top ceiling. We are here to one of the big stress points in the later half of this route. This Draygon fight. We'll see. I think Oats does the older Rain Dance setup, whereas Zeni is going to be using, again, something that I believe Aziol had developed for this Meridia section, which is going to be a slightly different setup here. You're going to see Oats do this left to right Rain Dance, whereas Zeni is going to be turning and setting up a different kind. He's going to be waiting for these Evers to go off screen, and both of them going to be trying to knock out Draygon at almost exactly the same time. Beautiful setup for Oats. You see that nice dark belly color. Zeni inching forward, getting a nice belly color. Also, it should be good for both runners. Okay. Decent pattern. Nicely handled for Zeni. Oh wait, is that Yikes frame?
I think so.
Wow, this might be Zeni overtaking Oats here. Both runners staying for drops. Zeni getting much better drops as far as health, but 2 supers behind. Holy smokes, get ready to get a lead change here. Oh, and no. Oats missing the first boost. There it is. For the first time since Series Station, Zeni has retaken the lead. Oh no, that's okay. Cleaning up a little bit there. Zeni was a little too far forward, needed to make sure that he got blue before re-entering this Phantoon hallway. And just like that, and holding on to it, at least for now, we are on pace for Zeni to potentially have the lead for this race. Going into G4, unbelievable. I'd have to go back and look at the races, but I can't think of the last time that Oats was losing in a race this late. Oh, beautiful one-tile gap maneuver there from Zeni with the charge strat. What an incredibly fast strat. Oats going for something slightly easier and just a little bit slower. Zeni getting through that big jump. Oats also no problem. Oh my goodness, Sloters, can you believe this? What a race! And they're both on such incredible paces still. This is unbelievable.
And Oats getting some more supers there, so he'll have 6 going past the ship. Definitely in a lot better shape than Zeni, but 3 certainly nothing to scoff at. So as long as the Metroids are nice, I expect both of them to have good ammo.
Yeah, we'll probably be down to 2, which is, gosh, at least for me. I mean, I'm only trying to get 42, 43s, but I'm willing to take a little bit of a time loss. I wonder here, do you ever missile this door? Probably not, right? If you're Zeni, you probably just go down to 2 supers here.
Yeah, maybe if you have 1 super, you might consider it, but yeah, I don't think people normally do that.
Oh no, and Oats not getting that blue bounce ball. A little bit of an extra time loss again. So Zeni gonna have a good solid lead here. Obviously more or less than a baby skip. Let's check the door entry time. 3-3-3-3 straight across the board for Zeni. It's gonna be just about 10 seconds difference for these 2 runners. Yeah, almost exactly 10 seconds. You see Zeni looking off to his right, getting a drink, probably checking the restream. I'm assuming Oats is doing the same. Health is good for both runners. Missile is good. Those 3 extra supers, though, we'll just have to see. As long as Zeni doesn't get hacked by drops here, he does have the benefit of that 2010, as does Oats. Folks, this is what we wanted. Best of 3. Oats, the world record holder, the top seed, or the second seed coming into this matchup, needing simply to win 2 games to win the Grand Championship. Zeni knowing that he needs to win 2 of these next 3 races to force a bracket reset. And he has done everything to claw back from a near 20-second deficit at the start of Lower Norfair, and has managed to put himself ahead of Oats, the world record holder. Folks, hold on to your butts. Here comes Tourian.
All right, Zeni coming into room 1. Already get some supers off the first Metroid. And we'll have to bomb off and get some good drops off the next set. So pretty good going into room 2.
That was great.
Oats,
really nice drops.
Good. Oats didn't get grabbed, so he doesn't have to bomb him off. Also has the same super count going into room 2.
Wow, and already 8 entering room 3 for Zeni. Okay, so the RNG is not going to be an issue here for Zeni. Beautiful execution and lovely drops. Oats somehow
surprisingly not getting a lot of supers here.
And you can see him reacting on camera. What? He's saying, having to missile here again. And there it is.
And
okay.
The 20 still saves him. He's good.
The wave missile saves him. Are you kidding? Those were insane drops for Zeni. He had so many more supers that he needed midway through room 3. All right, so Zeni up by about 15 seconds here, but baby skip stands in the way. Bomb spread, baby skip, clockwise for Zeni. It's the Stashio skip setup. Okay, it looks like he's through. Does Oats go for the 3 jump here? He does, and I think he's through. So about a second time save there for Oats. Can you believe the Sloaters? What a race!
This is really going to come down to execution on the Mother Brain fight and escape.
Beautiful Zeb skip for Zeni. Oats just a little bit of a hiccup there.
Okay, does get the backup.
Oh my goodness, folks. What do their nerves must feel like at this moment? 36-43, head down. Mother Brain head down for Zeni. Let's see the difference here. It looks like it's a little over 10 seconds still. 11 seconds right now. Zeni just needs to execute. But my goodness, can you imagine what that heart rate monitor reads right now? Good health for both. Nice middle bomb hit, central bomb hit, so no damage taken there from Zeni. No harm, no foul.
Well, Zeni missing a shot.
Pretty well-behaved Mother Brains from both so far. Ooh, nice dodge for Oats, going under the Onion Ring barrage there. Couple missed shots for Oats as well, a few for Zeni. Not the cleanest fights for either runner, but pretty good. Oh boy, where's that catch-up phase coming? Always makes me nervous when Mother Brain just stands there for a few seconds doing nothing. Like, what's coming next? Okay, Zeni gets under the first catch-up. That's huge. He didn't get surprised by some quick catch-up barrage. He should be able to settle into a pattern here. Another missed shot for Oats. Another dodge for Oats. Is that it? Is Zeni through? Zeni is through. Mother Brain's head coming forward, 38.05. Oats still waiting.
Yeah, I think Zeni might have saved a little bit of time on the fight.
Boy, I'm not sure about the end of that fight. I lost count for what Oats was doing. How can you keep count when you've got two Mother Brains at the same time? I think that last shot for Mother Brain may have been late. It may have been a little late for Oats, and he may have lost some time from that final catch-up. Right now, this is Zeni's race to lose. Execute, and he has a huge advantage moving towards forcing that bracket reset. Folks, that is what Zeni is looking for. The number 4 overall seed in the world, the number 4 ranked overall in the world based on any percent time, the number 3 seed in this tournament. But Zeni has secured the fastest time so far in this tournament with a 41.1x. No one has been better than Zeni than he was in his last race when he knocked Meridia out. And Zeni is showing it once again here. This is going to be an incredible finish, and 41s for both runners. Can you believe this, Sloaters? What a race, a back and forth affair. Zeni having the very early lead in series, losing the lead, and now clawing all the way back. About 30 seconds. He was down 20, he's up 10. Sloaters, he's almost on the verge of knowing that at least there will be a game 3. At least.
Yeah, this is an incredible start to this series, and I hope all the following races are going to live up to this one. This is great. Zeni in the Mother Brain 3. Pretty trivial fight. Looks like he's handling it well. Oats will be starting his shortly. Pretty much right as Zeni's finishing up his.
Yeah, just the slightest hiccup for Zeni with some of those unfortunate onion ring barrages bouncing him back from the cleanest of fights. Oats is looking pretty good here on this fight. Probably will net a slight time save here. Yeah, that was definitely a cleaner fight for Oats, so making up just a little bit of this time here. 40-24, can you believe this time? This will not be the best time of the tournament. Zeni will keep that distinction for himself either way. Looking like maybe a 2x finish here for Zeni if he can execute through this escape. Oh my goodness, wow. Yeah, still a double-digit lead for Zeni, so he does have cushion here. It is not over yet until Samus is on the ship, but Zeni executing everywhere. Beautiful moonfall, just getting to the edge of that platform. No pixels wasted. Here comes that behemoth spark, that diagonal spark across climb. Nicely done, no issues there for Zeni. He's almost home free, folks. I think this is it. I think this is the first loss handed out to Oats in this tournament so far, and it's payback from Zeni, who was knocked out of the winner's bracket by Oats. Folks, get your GGs in chat. Get ready for Game 2 and Game 3, finishing in first place in this race with a time of 41:29, and just 20 seconds behind him, it looks like. Zeni finishing first, Oats finishing second. We have an absolute barn burner on our hands, and there's the finish for Oats, 20 seconds behind. GG's to Zeni. We know we were going to have a Game 2, but now we know that we will have at least a Game 3. If Oats manages to win, we'll win the Grand Championship. Zeni that much closer, though, Sloaters, to forcing a bracket reset and a sudden death Game 4. I don't know what to say. Sloaters, 2 41s, double 41s in races, and a 41-2x for Zeni, who now has 2 of maybe the best times in this whole tournament. Like, what more could we ask for from this incredible race?
We love to see it, Prof. 2 41s at the start of the series, at least 2 more games that we get to see. This is the Super Metroid content we came here for today, and I'm very excited to watch how the rest of this unfolds. GG's to both the runners. Congrats to Zeni on winning Game 1 here. Hold on to your butts, folks.
There it is. Could not agree any better. Could not say it any better myself. Oh my goodness, Sloaters, I need to take a deep breath. That was, what a race to call. I mean, the back and forth affair, the come from behind win from Zeni, It doesn't really get any better than this, and now we just have to wait. These runners are queuing themselves up for game 2. It's been a pleasure taking you through the action. Just a few minutes, and we're going to fire up that second race. Kip and the Hockey Towner, another incredible duo, going to be taking you through that one. So we're going to leave you in their comforting hands and with their soothing voices, both of them. Sloters, anything else? It's been a joy commentating to you. Thank you so much for joining me in the booth today.
Likewise, Prof. It's been a lot of fun. It's always fun doing commentary with you. But yeah, everyone just stick around and watch the rest of these amazing races that we're going to have from these two amazing runners. Yeah, we will see you shortly.
All right, folks, there you go. Game 2 coming up. Zeni versus Oats in a best of 3. Kip and Hockey Towner to take you through the action. We will see you on the other side in just a few minutes.
This is it. Game 2 of the Super Metroid Any Percent Grand Finals as part of SG Live 2024. We've got Shiny, Zeni, and Oats back in action here. I am the Hockey Towner, joined by the one, the only, the legendary Kip. How's it going, Kip?
Hey, Hockey, I'm doing well. Good to see you, man. Great to be able to chat with you today. Spend a little time watching two absolutely legendary runners of Super Metroid race any percent. Really happy to be here. It's going to be fun. How are you?
Well, my heart's already beating out of my chest, Kip. I'm taking some deep breaths. I've got a paper bag in case I start hyperventilating, because that first race was absolutely phenomenal. It was unlike anything I've seen all tournament.
It was incredible, and I had a moment where I laughed a little bit near the end because I was thinking, neither one of these runners feel like they had, like a perfect race. I'm sure they felt like they made some mistakes and yada, yada, yada. And then you look at the final time and it's like a mid 41 or almost like, how far have we come in tournament racing where two people are running 41s that way? So yeah, very exciting. Looking forward to seeing how it goes this time.
Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, yes, indeed. So I think in the last race, Zeni had a tenuous lead leaving Series Station, did not reclaim it until after Draygon with that amazing spike suit. That's Hockey, use your words. But our runners still have to get off Series Station. And Kip, we discussed a little bit the ramifications, kind of the way that these races can play out, the different circumstances. Before we got started today.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, if Zeni wins this race, he will win the opening best of 3, 2-0, and then it will be pushed to a bracket reset that is going to be a best of 1, and the winner would take all. If Oats were to win this race, we would go to a game 3, and if he were to win that race after winning game 2, he would win the championship. If he were to lose, it would still push it to that bracket reset. So not this particular race is actually not do or die for either runner, but if Zeni were to take it, it would push us into a really tense final game.
Oh yeah, I think ideal circumstance for Zeni would be to sweep the best of 3 and carry that momentum into the decisive best of 1. So yeah, Oats, despite being the winners finals winner, is playing from behind a little bit here, but does have the better circumstance where he does just have to win the next 2 races to kind of do a reverse sweep of Zeni. But chat, we're heading down to the surface of the planet Zebes to pursue that baby Metroid. And Kip, we've seen it probably thousands of times, but this early game should not be overlooked. There's definitely some interesting strats we're going to see.
No, Super Metroid is actually there are so many things about speedrunning Super Metroid that I personally find very interesting and fascinating. One of the things is that there are a lot of games where maybe the opening sections of the run are not necessarily like the most difficult. I actually feel like a lot of the most complexity that happens can be near the beginning. The beginning of the game, as good as these two players are at it, are not easy. If you're learning to speedrun Super Metroid, there's actually parts, in my opinion, in the middle or even late game that are easier than some of the earlier parts. So it's pretty cool to see that. Another thing about this that I find very interesting is, and this has been talked about a little bit, my personal favorite thing about Super Metroid speedrunning is racing, because it's one thing to throw yourself at PB attempts repeatedly and be able to reset 100 times, when you're in a race scenario with hundreds, if not thousands of people watching and you can't reset, it really puts a different type of mental stress. So I always find it fascinating how players respond to that.
Oh, no question about it, Kip. There's so much more pressure, especially now, kind of in the modern Super Metroid tournament. You know, we do have cash prizes now. I mean, that's something that was, you know, unheard of 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. So it's really, really interesting to see how far the game has come. But our runners do have journeyed down here to Old Brinstar, Blue Bryn, as it were, to grab that missile pack and that morph ball. And like Kip said, the early game is some of the most challenging movement. We saw some really clean weaving moonfalls there down the reverse climb, but now we're going to see the forward climb and some really tight wall jumps.
Yeah, that was a really, really clean room there by both players.
I mean, just look at this. Just keeping those wall jumps tight on that right side all the way up the climb, avoiding all the space pirates into the parlor. So Zeni maintaining the lead here as we head for the first mini boss of the route, which is going to be Bomb Torizo. Bomb Torizo, a little bit of a finicky boss. Kip, I know that they got open with 5 shots, and they got to kind of fan out those missile pickups.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, you got to understand, even though I've been speedrunning this game a long time, a lot of times you just know how stuff works without knowing the math behind it. Sometimes you forget. But I think every regular shot does 20 damage. You want to do 5 to get to 100. And then after that, all the missiles are 100 each, and you're trying to get like an even number of hits. So I think normally they shoot like 4 and then 1 at the end, and then Zeni's going to try to wrap it up here with 3. Boom.
Wow. Yeah, that was incredible bombs time, 438 for Zeni, and a really nice fight. Ooh, Oats getting scammed, does have to wait for more pickups.
Oh, wow.
No pickups? Oh, unable to avoid the decapitation animation, Kip.
Yeah, that was incredibly unfortunate, very unlucky. Basically, I guess it depends on how deep into the Super Metroid technicalities we want to get, but if I recall correctly, I think all of those like bombs that Bomb Torizo shoots out, I think that they actually have a nothing on the drop table, even though it's supposed to be not necessarily a super high percent. And so technically anytime there's a nothing on there, even if you're filled with energy, there's still a chance that missiles won't show up.
Gosh, that is just terrible luck for Oats, unfortunately. But it's still very early. We're in the first 6 minutes of this race. You know, the last race took a mid-41 for both runners. It was sensational to see. But the runners are going to head now down to Green Brinstar and execute the very first sequence break of the route, which is the early Supers mock ball.
Yep, and actually I just realized I think I could do a better job explaining that. Technically, since he was full on energy, since nothing and missiles are the other 2 things on the drop table, the amount of percentage that energy had gets pushed evenly between the 2, so it actually increases the likelihood of there being nothing.
Increases the likelihood of nothing. Oh, it's going back to grab 2 more missiles here too. Through the door, going to execute this early Supers mock ball, but a little high 5 here. So Zeni building on his lead here, Kip, due to kind of some RNG woes and some early mistakes from Oats.
Yeah, the early game not going the way that he would prefer, but again, it's a long run. There's a lot of variance and tight, things coming up here that you can lose time on. So, if you're in this situation, you don't have the start that you want. You just got to kind of hang in there and keep plugging away.
No question about it. Our runners have to dust themselves off, try again, get back in that saddle. If anything comes their way that they don't like, or that would usually elicit a reset. Like you said, Kip, at the beginning of the race when they're going for PB attempts. So a little charge beam pickup here. Charge missiles for our runners. We did see both runners elect to do 20 and 10 last race. And it was an interesting choice because I believe Oats most of the time does do 15. But I'm not 100% sure. Chad will probably set me straight. Really nice green hill zone here from Oats, as Zeni now, though, is into red Brinstar. We're covering the whole rainbow of colors for Brinstar here, Chip.
That's
But
right.
look at this. So a little hero shot here, not electing to go for the ripper skip. It's a I would say a low percentage play, maybe a medium percentage play with it does save a little bit of time here. I'm curious to see what Oats is going to do.
That was a nice deboost off the top plant by Zeni. One thing some people might not be aware of is enemies and terrain can both be deboosted off of, but the amount of window that you have to get the deboost is actually different between the two types of things.
It's tighter for enemies, correct?
I believe so, yes.
No wonder I was never good at those.
Hey, I'm right there with you.
So Powerbomb pickup, that'll be the only Powerbomb pack our runners pick up since this is any percent. And Zeni already back to the surface of Zebus here in Criteria and has got to contend with the biggest obstacle so far in PRKD, which is the moat. You got two ways to cross the moat, this continuous wall jump or the horizontal bomb jump as a backup, but we'll see what Zeni can do here. And Oats is hot on his tail. Oh, taking a little bit of a dip there. Backing it up to try again. Oh, this looks pretty good.
Yeah, he's got an attempt at it for sure.
This is so hard to do the backup. Oh, Zeni unfortunately taking a dip in the moat. This is going to allow Oats to catch up, possibly.
All right, Oats is... Oh, no, Oats did not get a shot at it.
Looks like both of them going to have to use horizontal bomb jumps. Zeni's across. Can Oats get across? Oh, my goodness, Kip. We've got a new race on our hands.
Yeah, the moat is... you know, a lot of times you'll get to the middle of a race or maybe near the end of the race and you kind of are focused on what's kind of happening in the moment. But there are many races where, depending on if any kind of, you know, negative consequences happen at the moat, that could end up being something that is a big decider of the race.
No question about it, Kip. No question about it. The tables can turn that quickly. Although Zeni is still in the lead, just doesn't have that big lead anymore. But Phantoon could change all that for one runner or the other. It all depends on the patterns and their execution.
Yeah, both runners looking, you know, pretty healthy on their missiles. The only way they'd run into missile problems coming into here with 15 would be, even if they got like fast, the only way they'd really run into trouble is if Phantoon just did not give hardly any drops, but that rarely happens in any percent.
Well, we will pray to the RNG gods for our runners here. It does look like a slow pattern for Zeni to open here.
Yeah, both of them got a slow. Oh, Oats, unfortunately, was just knocked off his pattern by... Oh, wow. Go ahead.
No, I'm still recovering.
Yeah, I didn't even have time to explain what happened to Oats, but yeah, that was an incredible fight by Zeni there. Excellent
Oh my
job.
goodness, the one round from Zeni. Both runners punished with the slow pattern. Oats having a decent fight. I think that was a 3 or a long 2 pattern, but
It
my
was a good recovery, yeah.
Yeah. Zeni's like, oh, I fell in the moat. Oh yeah, what's this? Oh my gosh.
Nice job, Zeni, right there heading into that door. That gets often overlooked a little bit, nuanced thing. There's actually a pretty wide range of door correction you can do there, depending on how you approach the initial jump, and he had a really nice one. It wasn't quite a 42, but it was pretty close.
I do love that door correcting. Making corrections to the way doors load is something in this game. It's the iceberg is so deep in the movement and the optimization of the speed run. It's really, really terrific.
Oh, Zeni missed that atomic. And now the room is going to be slightly off kilter. He needs to watch out for the key hunter at the end, who's going to path over much closer. Right there. It gets much closer. Yeah, he's fine now, but that room did not go the way that he would have preferred.
It was a nice recovery. He just took it with patience. You know, he was very, very methodical in the way he destroyed the rest of those enemies and was ready and waiting for that key hunter that had shaded over to the right there. Oats having a little bit of difficulty of his own here in the attic, but maybe not as much as Zeni. So
yeah,
maybe...
I'm sorry, Hockey, go ahead.
Maybe Oats be able to shave maybe a second there.
So I'm just trying to be objective here. That's a really bad mistake that happened to Oats, or it's just a bad circumstance, because if you get hit by the Key Hunter with the power suit on, you lose a lot of energy. And so it makes his current situation a lot more like he literally can't get across the moat right now. All right,
Yeah,
he's gonna have
reload.
to. Yeah, he's gonna have to reload. Like basically the whole. He technically could have employed a series of strats in the attic that would have been slower, but could have gotten him some more energy. But he was just kind of going for the standard thing, and unfortunately got hit.
For sure, but does have enough energy to cross bowling here, taking damage off of those spikes. But Zeni grabbing that gravity suit, gonna have friction-free movement through the water, protection from superheated rooms. But we will be seeing that Varia suit for you Varia suit fans out there. But we will be seeing that later on. Our runners are gonna now need to make a beeline to Norfair. And so, Kip, I know you're familiar with like that first corridor in Upper Norfair is called the Business Center, but our very own Twinmo has expanded on it and refers to all of Upper Norfair as the shopping center, because our runners are going to be going on a shopping spree, grabbing all these movement items and all these beams in Norfair.
That makes sense to me. In particular, it's like when you get to Speed Booster, it's like finding out that there's a sale on the other side of the mall, and then you speed walk over to the wave beam. I'm with you, Twin. I got you.
The lore! We are assembling more lore in real time. Oh my goodness, Kip. This is fantastic stuff. Oh my gosh. But yeah, terrific movement from these runners. They, like you said, Kip, the mental challenge of racing, especially in more than one race series. You just gotta turn the brain off. You gotta reset the hands, and just hopefully just push on through and forget about previous mistakes.
There's that. There's also an extra wrinkle here that happens occasionally where basically the way Super Metroid works, I'm sure there are other games like this, but based on the fact that Super Metroid is centered around resource management, like it's not just how fast you can move, you have to move, but also manage other elements along the way. And when you hit a situation in a run like Oats has, for example, like it's not just what happened in Attic, it's what happened after, and he's still dealing with it. Like look at his current missiles versus super missiles versus whatever. If he presses item select one time right now, it's going to go to super missile.
Right.
So there are so many things that can happen in a one run scenario where you're not allowed to reset, that are like far out of your muscle memory. And sometimes it's small stuff, sometimes it's big stuff, but basically like because he can't stop, he has to just adjust.
No, for sure. It just kind of, like you said, throws everything off just a little bit. But Oats, being the world record holder, is certainly no stranger to adverse conditions or scenarios. But Zeni is just, I echo chat's sentiment. Zeni is just cooking right now, Kip. He is mixing it up in the pan. He's flipping it. He's cooking it right now.
He totally is. And let's also be realistic real quick. Oats is not having the run that he preferred at the moment, and yet he's probably still going to finish it faster than I ever have. So let's keep it real about how good both of these players are.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Zeni's really cooking right now. He's probably feeling pretty comfortable. Just needs to stay in the zone and keep working.
Chad asking, was Zeni's 1 round mid? It was a 1 round slow, but probably the fastest slow pattern you've ever seen, you know. But my goodness, this is something. So yeah, going back to you said about speed walking to the other side of the mall. We are on the, I guess the west side of the mall here, Kip. But we're doing, it's BOGO beams and BOGO movement items. Over on the west side, we get the high jump boots and the ice beam. Over on the east side of Upper Norfair, we get the speed booster, we get the wave beam.
Hey man, everybody loves a buy one get one.
Absolutely. It's looking like, I can't say the name of the company, but it's looking like that very popular membership only place where you can buy a lot of things.
That's right.
Take your pick, Chad.
For sure. The room that Zeni just left a couple rooms ago, Oats is now leaving it. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's the room where you get that ice escape back into that long hallway. I've always found that to be a really cool looking room, and also just kind of a fascinating one in terms of Super Metroid speedrunning, because using that ice beam to freeze an enemy to get a little bit longer of a runway to get enough speed to do a mock ball. You know, it's like all the cool things kind of coming together that Super Metroid has to offer.
For sure, for sure. Taking advantage of enemy position, freezing with that ice beam, utilizing that mock ball. Oats having a really nice ice escape there. And now they have to climb to the top of Bubble Mountain and dethrone King Kak, which Zeni has done. Oats, though, about to head into the cathedral. So still has some time to make up on Zeni, but anything can happen in Lower Norfair. Lower Norfair is a treacherous section of this game.
100%, and especially at any percent, there's just a lot of ways that things can go wrong. So you know, got to stay locked in. Don't want to be throwing away any kind of lead that you might have.
Yeah, I think Zeni would prefer to just, you know, build and expand on this lead without, you know, without running too close to the wall, you know, because it's like, you know, you can't rely on your opponent to make mistakes to allow you to win, but you also, you know, you don't have to pull out all the stops if you're able to maintain this type of lead.
That's right. Also, I want to shout out, Oats had a really nice strat in Bubble Mountain there, where he just ran straight across and did a really tight delayed wall jump to get up there straight away. That's a really tough strat. That was nicely executed.
Yeah, I think Oats is starting to gain some momentum here. Definitely putting those previous mistakes behind him. Able to capitalize some really nice movements so far, like leaving that bat cave. But we will be seeing pretty soon from both of these runners. Zeni first, a very difficult strat that both runners nailed in the first race. That is the lava spark, and that is the one of two ways in Phantoon first to get up to the entrance to Ridley's lair. So very tight strat.
I really like how the Upper Norfair music is just sort of atmospheric and kind of daunting, and listening to it right before you head down to Lower Norfair.
Setting the stage.
That's right.
Oh, so Zeni unfortunately does not get to store that short charge. We'll have to use a backup strat, which is the gravity jump. And this has more downsides than just taking longer. It has... Ooh. Gonna have to do it twice here. But I'm really concerned about Zeni's health now going into Lower Norfair here, Kip. Oh,
yeah.
no.
Okay, a couple things. Okay, so here's the deal. Let's go stage by stage. Number one, Super Metroid is the kind of game where if you pull everything off the way that you want to, then you don't need to like consider possible backups and stuff. One thing I don't really love about Zeni, he paused the game and turned off his 2 beams like a couple rooms prior, which makes sense if you get the lava spark, right? Because you won't have a need to pause again, right?
Right.
But especially in a racing situation, when you don't get a reset, if it's possible for you to potentially like whiff that strat, you're gonna have to pause anyway, literally to get into Lower Norfair.
Sure.
So I kind of feel like it's safer to wait on it until you get to the elevator. So even if had he made the jump up, he would have lost some time on doing that strat early. Secondly, this is one of those, like, what I call sort of like a knowledge. It's an error, but like I don't blame anybody for not knowing this. It's just one of those things where it's like, how often do you think Zeni has practiced missing a lava jump and trying a second lava jump?
Right,
You know,
yeah.
and the timing. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, it's not something that you would practice.
So issues like that do occasionally come up though in races. They're more likely to come up in races than they are in runs, because if Zeni had missed that lava jump in a run, he would have just reset. Right?
Exactly.
So anyway, this is one of those scenarios where I feel like I say this every tournament. This is a scenario where the nature of a one-run situation has implications that sometimes you don't see coming.
Oh, no question about it, Kip. We saw it there. It did not see that Namahe flame coming. I'm saying I didn't. I'm not going to say Zeni didn't, but I think he just realized a little bit too late. You can't just put the brakes on and make Samus fall really fast to avoid that flame, unfortunately. But, oh my goodness. So, totally different race now. Oats is into lower Norfair. Zeni, though, refusing to give up, is already into the climb here, heading back to Bomb Torizo. But Oats is just going to be turning on the afterburners, heading to Ridley here. No need to go for anything too fancy as far as X Factoring Ridley here. I know both runners would love to get a 4 X Factor. Oh yeah, it's a couple missed particles there, Kip, from Oats. So yeah, he's gonna switch right back to beams.
And just in case anybody was wondering, changing back to having the ice and spacer on while you have a particle rolling around like that does change the graphic. It does not change the amount of damage, so it's still
yes.
300.
It'd be an interesting if it did. I think we'd see a lot more pausing.
This is really dangerous.
This is tough. Oats, be careful.
This is in no ways going to be a free fight here. Oats needs to be very careful.
I kind of lost count here, Kip, but I think it's a few more charge shots. Oh, 55. This is danger close. Oats just trying to ride it out here.
I think he's got it. Yep,
oh my
good
goodness.
Whew. Now in a race scenario, he should just straight up grab this tank right here. He's not going to, I don't think, but he should. He should. But
he might. Oh,
okay,
Kip is going to. He heard you. Oh my goodness. Whew. Oh yeah, chat saying that Oats did take a look at the race and decided, yep, I'm going to grab that E-Tank. Oh my goodness. What an exciting series so far with these two absolutely titanic runners. We got the number 1 and the number 4 in the world. It's just absolutely mental.
I feel pretty bad for Zeni here because he really was having a very, very nice run there before that unfortunate situation. And just, to provide further context to what I was saying earlier, I think he should be going for the aggressive pause early because that's what he normally does. I'm just kind of referring to what happens if you accidentally whiff in a one run scenario. But yeah, you got to feel for somebody like that, when that happens. But the flip side is he has been playing well 2 races in a row, and this does not in any way end the series. So he just needs to kind of keep his cool. And first of all, technically it's still possible to win this race, but even if this one ends up being going Oats' way, you just got to kind of flush it out of your system and get ready for the last one.
That's right. That's absolutely right. You got to play the hand you're dealt, and Zeni and Oats are both doing that. Consummate professionals, great speedrunners. If you haven't already, chat, be sure to give these runners a follow if you like what you've seen here today on Speed Gaming 2. They do some incredible things with the game of Super Metroid. The reaching heights I did not know were attainable by mortals, and we've seen many displays of that here today, right here on Speed Gaming 2.
That's right. This is also kind of exciting for me. I've talked about this before, but probably not in a long time. But Oats is actually probably the runner most responsible for me deciding to even try speedrunning Super Metroid. When I first kind of started checking it out, it was when he was trying to pursue a world record back in 2017, I think.
Yeah.
And I had just started watching Twitch, and I thought he was, really entertaining, and I was just fascinated by how well he could play. And then that kind of, one thing leads to another, and here we are. So it's always kind of special for me to get to watch him or do any kind of comms with him.
No, for sure, Kip, for sure. Yeah, Oats similarly was also kind of my my gateway drug to Super Metroid speedrunning.
Right.
It's not the best way to put it, but it is a way, I guess. Chat was lighting up. Chat was popping off. They were lighting up. Zeni got that ripper skip at the top of Red Tower. So even after taking a death, Zeni's still just going for the hardest strats. You got to respect it. But definitely Oats' race to lose here. And going back to what we talked about at the beginning, Kip, as we get set up for this Kraid quick kill, you know, Oats has got to win this and the following race. He'll win. But if Zeni can pull off the 2 wins in the best of 3, he will reset the bracket and will go to a best of 1.
That's right. So an easy way to look at it would be if Oats stays on course here and wins, he only has to win one of the next potential 2 races.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So Vari suit pick up there for Oats. Zeni, though, crossing the moat again with that horizontal bomb jump. Professor School, who did wonderful, wonderful commentary in the first race with Sloters. Loved listening to both of them, saying, are we going to see 2 one-round Phantoons in a single race? I mean, it's definitely possible.
Yeah. I don't speedrun Super Metroid vanilla categories. Like, I haven't been pursuing PVs for a couple years. I mainly just play randomizer these days. But I got to tell you, if you would have told me a few years ago that like one rounding Phantoon was like the standard strat for some runners, I literally would have not believed you. But, we've come a long way.
There's no doubt about it. I thought it was going to be like when I first heard about it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's cool and all, but like maybe in Hundo, like I thought it was way more popular in Hundo, but then once it kind of like infiltrated any percent, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. What's next? Setting up for it again here, Kip. Oh no. Oh, so close. But it ain't over till it's over. Oats is into Meridia now, having gotten to the top of Mount Everest here, going up to the aqueduct. But yeah, wonderful 2-round there from Zeni. Definitely flexing those Phantoon chops here. But Oats having a little bit of difficulty with Phantoon on the first race. Let's see if Oats can clean it up with some D-factor strat here.
Oh,
ooh, tough pattern. Tough pattern. Double X factor though? Oh!
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I stand corrected. Maybe it's not the worst pattern. It's the worst pattern for me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's a tough pattern. The first runner I ever saw do that was a real Cutie. So shout outs to Cutie on the double Phantoon X Factor. But my goodness, we're just seeing a little bit of everything today, Kip.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, I feel like I say this a lot anytime I'm doing any kind of Super Metroid commentary or discussion. That's one of my favorite things about this game in particular is the way the physics and the movement and all the different strats work. It's a very artistic game.
Yeah.
And you really can approach it in a variety of ways and still get fast times. You know what I mean? And so like it's really cool to see not only new strats, but I like watching how different runners. To me, it's like watching their brain work. Like, how do I individually want to problem solve this situation? And Super Metroid's a great game for that.
I'll say it's almost like video game parkour. You just maintain Samus's momentum and speed,
right,
from room to room to room. So Rain Dance set up here for Oats against Draygon. Going to look to be landing those X Factor particles and the Shine Spark. Very nice opener. As Zeni gets to take a little breather here in the bowling cutscene. Oats, no swoops, only goops, 2 in blue. Very nice fight. Can he convert? Yes, he can. That is a spike suit for Oatsngoats.
He had the practice ROM open in between races, and he was practicing that spike suit, so you knew he was going to get it here. But I got to tell you, I mean this very sincerely. I don't think the average person understands how difficult it is to get that good at the Draygon fight. In particular, that, in my opinion, that's one of the hardest cycles to deal with. And it's just amazing to watch players like these two and some of our other great players in the community like be so consistent at killing Draygon that way.
Yeah, that was as good a dragon fight as you'll ever see. And I think Zeni just narrowly avoiding the gravity suit skip.
He did, yeah.
On the run back here. Man, Zeni, that was awesome. But that'll do it for the G4 bosses for Oats. His resources are looking pretty good. He did pick up the Phantoon E-Tank. So running 4 tanks now, so an added layer of security. And I believe also still with 20 and 10 as far as missiles and supers.
Actually,
or is he 15?
He did not pick up the wave missiles.
Oh, he didn't.
At that time, he was behind, but I don't know if he added an extra pack. However, I will say this. Having 10 super missiles right now is ludicrous. Like, he got just an insane number from, like, Draygon. You do not enter that green gate with 10 supers very frequently.
You just don't. It's unheard of. So it's one thing to have a perfect dragon fight, but then to be rewarded with the drops, too. That was awesome. I'll see if Oats can get this parlor strat. It's one of my favorite moves in the entire speed run. I'm just keeping the speed keep into a speed ball here. Oh, interesting. Thinking about it.
What he probably should do instead is, if we're just looking at this through the lens of it's a competition, it's a one run race, and you're trying to make the likelihood of you winning be as high as possible. What he ought to do is just kind of take it easy and use missiles when needed in some of the Metroid rooms and make sure he's got 15-10, and then he should save before
yes,
Brain.
I
Because
agree.
the only way for him to really throw this away at that point would be if he got sniped or if like Mother Brain killed him, which it can happen. I mean, like, it's rare, but the Mother Brain 2 fight is not always easy. It just depends on some of the patterns. So if I was in his situation, I'd probably save. Let's be realistic. A lot of runners don't do that, though. So we'll see.
We will see. So chat with confirmation that Oats' pause there with Samus's arm cannon in the air was definitely toying or taunting his own chat rather than the viewers here on Speed Gaming 2. I thought it was a little early to be striking a victory pose, but that wasn't the purpose, as it turns out, Kip.
Oh, yeah. This G4 cutscene is also one of my favorite things about Super Metroid, because when you're on like a PB pace, you have to sit there and just think about it for a minute. And
you gotta stew in it.
Right. And so it's this game really puts you through a lot mentally.
Oh my gosh. This game. What an incredible speed run, and we're about to see it all come down to this. This is Tourian now. Very difficult section of the game, but Oats carrying unbelievable resources into this. Yeah, not going to have any problems here, Kip. Fingers crossed, though.
That's correct. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually believe that, if I recall correctly, Metroids do not have nothing on their drop table. The only time that they wouldn't drop anything would be if you were completely full on regular missiles and energy, which is tier 1. Tier 2 drops do not increase based on being full on tier 1. And so sometimes you could get nothing because they just didn't drop supers or power bombs, but it's not because they refuse to drop something else. So I think every time you kill a Metroid, you're getting something as long as you have tier 1 drops available.
Gotcha. That makes sense. But yeah, as you said, Kip, Oats did skip the wave missile because he was behind at the time. That's a free 7 seconds if your opponent picks it up, but showing full resources that you're heading into baby skip. Curious if he's going to opt to still go for the 3 jump here. I think Oats is maybe very close to a 3 jump main on this Stashio skip. Oh, that is just dirty.
That's incredible.
So clean, it's dirty, Kip. That is really something else. So Zeni's still doing the Upper Norfair cleanup here into Speed Booster, and Oats wisely taking the save before Mother Brain.
By the way, I stand corrected. Apparently nothing is on the drop table, but it's only 4%. And since you typically, in most cases, like energy and regular missiles aren't really a concern, you're usually mostly paying attention to super missiles anyway. So it can happen, but it's a low percent chance.
An interesting kind of backup setup here for the Zeb skips. Oats is through, though. I think missed the down back to get that first attempt at the Zeb skip. So tight ammo here, has to land everything, but does so. Kip. Oats is through to Mother Brain 2. It's going to be 60-shot fight, no extra ammo here, and hopefully Mother Brain is not feeling too ferocious today.
Yeah, the turret RNG was very good there, and very kind. And then hopefully we will see Mother Brain 2 cooperate. One thing that, you know, on the surface, if you don't run the game or haven't watched a ton, might not be apparent is, you know, you can definitely die on Mother Brain 2. A lot of times people think that the scariest thing is the red beam. Usually, if you get killed at Mother Brain 2 on a speedrun, it's usually due to onion rings.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
They do not have, or they don't provide iframes. And if you get caught in a tricky situation, you can take, I think they do 20 damage each, so you can take 80 straight. And if you got a baby skip and you're only on 3 tanks, that's more than you have available to you.
Yes, Kip alluded to, you got to have 301 energy to survive Mother Brain's rainbow attack. Remember when I said Mother Brain, don't be ferocious, Kip? Yeah, she was not listening to me. But Oats is into the catch-up phase here.
Yeah, usually this phase, it's easier to deal with, especially if all she does is red beam. It can get a little tricky if she does some... Yeah, it can get tricky if she adds some stuff in, but most of the time, if it's just the red beams, it's not too hard to deal with, and Oats made it through. Good job.
He did. And Zeni with the redemption, lava spark, doing a little dance at the lower Norfair, going back out as Oats completes the Mother Brain 2 fight into the baby cutscene. Look at this from Zeni. Practice ROM be darned, Kip.
Indeed.
He's going all the way back. Where's he going?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call the new experimental 80% route. We're not sure on the data yet how it's going to pan out.
It's very avant-garde. It's kind of like free-form jazz, you know, just run it the way you want to.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I think Chad figured it out. I think he's racing Oats to the ship right now. Yeah, I have not seen this before, but this is really something. Oats, though, just a Mother Brain 3 fight away and an escape sequence from taking this race too.
Yeah, and obviously, Hockey, you and I are only going to be on this particular race together for a few more minutes as Oats finishes up. I would like to say that even though I'm a big person that, in terms of like competition, I really like all the different tournaments that go on, whether I'm in them or not. That's my favorite part about Super Metroid. And even though I have not been in this tournament, I would like to give a shout out to all the people at SG Live and the folks that organize this tournament. There's a lot of work that goes on that leads to us being able to have something like this. So I just want to give a shout out and say I really appreciate everybody who was involved in this. Even though I'm not in the tournament, it's cool to see people, contributing to the Super Metroid community and giving us all something to be excited about.
Oh, no question about it, Kip. It's always wonderful to see the community come together and come out for these tournaments. We had an unbelievable number of talented runners qualifying. Had 32 runners make the bracket, and a double elimination tournament gave any of those runners a chance to make a very, very deep run. We actually saw MGA as the sole remaining KPDR runner make it to like the fourth or fifth round of the bottom bracket. Maining crate first. It was really remarkable to see. But Oats on the escape now, Kip. into the Leodox room, just a shine spark away and a parlor away from the landing site.
Yeah, and again, like, all of the different safeties or different adjustments. I mean, he literally even sat on the ship for a few seconds, and like, you know, you think about Phantoon didn't go the way he wanted, etc. And yet this is still almost a 42. Like,
Yeah.
It's amazing how how far we've come. But big congratulations to Oats on taking this one. It's going to be 1-1, and so GG to Oats. And Hockey, it's been a pleasure commenting with you, man.
Yeah, absolutely, Kip. Like you said, Oats finishes in first with an official race time of 43:12. That ties the series at 1 game each. We may have a decisive game 3. We may have a bracket reset and a decisive game 4. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but we've got Mishrak and Zost coming up on the microphone. Don't go too far. We're going to keep the action rolling here on Speed Gaming 2. And yeah, Kip, always a pleasure doing comms with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Hockey, great to see you, man. And maybe we'll see you again here in a couple games, depending on what happens. But yeah, y'all stick around. The next race is going to be phenomenal. Really excited to hear Zost and Mish on comms together. So yeah, stick around, guys.
Welcome back, folks. Chat, we are here. It is game 3. Unbelievable. I can't believe that we are here at this final moment. It's Zeni. It's Oats. Zeni taking game 1. Oats taking game 2. And now we're back for game 3. I'm Professor School, back at you with the action. This time joined by none other than Mishrak. Mish, what's up? Are you hyped for this game 3?
I honestly thought we were going to be in like a finale. I mean, we still could potentially be in a finale, but with the way Zeni was playing, I thought it was about to be a 3-0 setting. Like, he was playing so well. It looked like that first game where he kind of, I don't know, maybe he was nervous, but the second game, it looked like he was settling in. So, I mean, 1-round Phantoon in a race, in this kind of race, he's definitely a lot more comfortable. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen here.
Yeah, Zeni was verifiably cooking in that second race. Had to come from behind, down almost 20 seconds, made up 30 seconds finally after chipping away on that lead that Oats had mounted. Zeni getting the spike suit, Oats getting the yike suit, and Zeni, to recap game 1, overtook Oats on the spark back across Coliseum, did not look back, did not relent the lead again until game 2, when he actually wound up having a really unusual situation, Mish, right? He sort of beefed the down input for Lava Spark, had a pretty good setup, it looked like, but missed that final wall jump at the top. And then, as Kit pointed out, how often do you practice a failed gravity jump back up for a failed lava dive? Jumped right into that flame from the Phantoon, and unfortunately, man, the way that it works is if you go off screen when that flame is just about to come out, it gets stored. It does not. That is not one of those consistent global timer situations. That Phantoon just kept spitting out. It was holding on, waiting. And it was waiting for Zeni to run right into it, and that sort of gave Oats game 2. And that's where we find ourselves, Mish. Game 3, 1v1, 1 score for each runner. And now Zeni getting ready to try to force it to a decisive bracket reset, and Oats trying to win the grand championship here.
So one thing I'll say about the lava dive in particular, I noticed, and maybe it might have just been like an anomaly on the stream, or I just noticed it, but to me, when I watched him do his short charge, it looked like he was slightly off on the first race. Like, he got it, but the way he kind of fell off the ledge wasn't as clean as normal. So I wasn't like, and he does a short charge through the power bomb lag. He doesn't wait for that to go away. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of an unusual timing, if you will. And I mean, it was unfortunate, but it didn't surprise me that it got messed up there a little bit. The first one didn't look as clean as I would expect it to.
Yeah, folks, we are aware of our audio issues. Currently, the audio source is unknown. We're going to get that taken care of you just in a moment. You'll have to settle for the dulcet tones of Mishrak and Professor School here. By the way, it is me. It is Professor School here. Zosti was scheduled for Game 3. Does have some personal stuff that he needed to take care of, so he does send his regrets. We were looking forward to that, Mish. I'm sorry, I'm not quite a former world record holder, but I will do my best to give you a good time here in the commentary booth.
I don't know what to say to that. I mean, it kind of would have been like. I don't know if you follow tennis, but it's like watching Djokovic and Nadal and having Roger Federer in the commentary with you. That would have been commentating with Zost. I mean, obviously Zost he's the GOAT for sure. He's the GOAT in Super Metroid, and much love to him and much respect. And it would have been an honor to commentate with him. But respect to his situation, so he'll get through it. Show him some love. There's the audio.
Good, so we do have that audio issue squared away. That's really nice, obviously. Very good. A little bit of an early lead here for Zeni once again. That early game, just cooking. Absolutely cooking on that early game. He has been pretty much this whole set. Had a 4:38 bombs time coming through the last time, and is on another good pace once again.
4:38 in a race setting is incredible. It's always incredible, but especially in this type of environment. I mean, as has been mentioned a couple times during these races, these guys know how to perform in the highest pressure situations. I mean, Oats on the biggest stage, of course, and Zeni doing RBO at GDQ of all the races, or of all the categories, RBO. Always amazing. I feel like Zeni might be a little bit looked at as an underdog, but he's not. There's no way. I mean, favorite underdog, it's a little hard in a race setting to declare those when you can't like actively influence the other person. But no, I mean, Zeni can do everything.
All right, let's see. Oats was a little bit hecked in the last game on some of those drops there, getting a bunch of those no drops. Taking a little bit of damage, unfortunately, here, so we are going to be, again, in a bit of a precarious situation for Oats.
No missiles.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding? Oh gosh. BT's been trolling Oats. My goodness, that's so unfortunate. All right, well, just a little bit of a hurdle to overcome once again here for Oats. I'm sure both runners, going to be giving in their all. Oats having to just adjust a little bit. Ooh, is he going to get under there? Maybe. I've never seen a strat like this. It's going to be really
This is the first time I've seen that farm. Oh, no,
oh my God, it's so frustrating. That really, really hurts Oats here, because now he's going to be potentially getting energy drops here. There you see it. Yeah, and this is just like in the last race, but for different reasons. It gives Zeni a bit of a commanding lead going in here. By the way, a 6:03 elevator time? Oh my goodness, Zeni just, again, just cooking right now. And despite all of those issues that Oats had, still a 6:09 elevator is an unbelievable accomplishment, given the hiccups that happened there in that early game. It's just a testament to both of these runners. As Kip pointed out in the last race, Oats had all these issues, and he's still going to finish this faster than almost any run I've ever done. That's one of the best elevator times you'll see for 95% of runners running Super Metroid, and that was despite all of the troubles Oats had. So just a testament to the skill of these two runners.
That farm in Terminator looked like Oats had done it before, right? Like he didn't just go, oh, well, I need to do this now. I mean, he did it well. Like I think Kit mentioned this in the last cast. While sometimes they get in situations where they're not practiced at backups, but these guys are especially practiced at most backups, and especially with lava dive, it's really hard to practice recovering from a fail there, even with the gravity jump. But the backup strats win the day in this game. It's one of the reasons why they're so good, because they can fail something and not lose that much time.
100%, 100%. And here we go. Nice look at this. 7-2-3. Just a great pace so far from Zeni. That's a really good charge touch time and separated by a little over an item fanfare. So Zeni maintaining that not quite double digits lead. This is sort of right where he picked up Mish on the last race. He seemed, I don't know if you were watching his camera specifically, even after that death, Zeni looked relaxed. He was laughing at the death. It's kind of, it's a silly way to die, but, he didn't take it seemed like a bad way. He stayed relaxed. He was playing the whole way through, keeping himself loose. I think he did everything that he needed to do to keep himself mentally prepared for this next race.
What am I trying to say? I was surprised that he didn't just reset, right? He didn't just walk away, right? Because it would have been a natural thing to do, but he just played it out. He knew he'd lost. I mean, of course, there was always the chance that Oats could have died, but he just played it out. And like to your point, like I noticed that as well. Like he definitely looked relaxed. So that's exciting because he's playing. He picked up right where he left off, like you said.
Yeah, and just a reminder, we're getting a lot of these questions in chat. We don't have the little Samus visor indicators, but this is the grand finals. This is the best of 3. Zeni, the number 4 seed, Oats, the number 2 seed, and the world record holder. Zeni narrowly taking game 1 in an incredible back and forth affair. Oats winning game 2 comfortably after Zeni took a death, entering lower Norfair. We are all knotted up 1-1, but Mish.
Time for CWJ.
Advantage Oats. Oats did win that upper bracket, and so Zeni does need to win this to force a bracket reset. Let's see how this one goes.
Ooh, he's not going to get the CWJ, but he got the first jump. He should be able to do bomb jump here.
Oh, wow, and Oats doing what Zeni did in the first 2 races, which is falling into the left side of Moat. Zeni across with HBJ. Okay, this looks good for Oats. Nicely done. This is great. So just like that, most of that lead was erased for Zeni, just about a room or so ahead. And this is exactly what we saw in race 1. This is what we want to see from both of these runners. They are both in direct ship past the Moat, and with sub 10-minute entry times, this is really elite level running from both runners, despite the hiccups. Incredible stuff in this best of 3 race.
That is such a difficult trick to do. I mean, the first jump is frame perfect. The second jump, second COJ, if you go far enough, has 2 frames. It's so hard to do normal when you're relaxed, when you're not in a pressure situation. For these guys to be even remotely consistent at it, it's always amazing to me. I've never, as long as I've been watching SM, I've never gotten tired of it.
Yeah, it is incredible. And I think worth pointing out that when you do that in-room backup that Oats did, you don't get the sub-pixel normalization. So it's actually a 1 frame into a 1 frame. It's a double frame perfect trick. All right, let's see. Zeni's still not getting any good patterns. It's been all slows for Zeni so far. And there's another slow for Zeni. Getting a better pattern here for Oats, though. Oh, it looks like he started his Doppler just a little bit too early. Is Zeni going to be going for potentially another 1 round? That looks really good.
He's got it. He's got it.
What? Are you kidding me? Not only did we get 1, we got 2 from Zeni in the same best of 3 race, back-to-back 1 rounds, and Zeni increases his lead. The kill in round 2 just coming behind for Oats, and we're going to be just neck and neck again. Zeni maintaining that steady lead. Wow, unbelievable. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Slow is the worst pattern, but I think it's probably the easiest 1 round pattern. Like to get a 1 round, I think that the slow is the easiest method. So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I say the word easy with like 16 quotes around it because it is not easy.
Yeah, giant asterisk next to easy for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
As it's been said in the past, everything is relative, and what's easy to these runners is damn near impossible for many. So I mean, incredible to see 2 1 rounds. Kip was mentioning this before, that a 1 round being a main for so many runners seems unbelievable, even for someone of his caliber just a few years ago. And now Zeni pulling off 2 back-to-back. I mean, Mish, I'm sure you've been in Zeni's streams. What is that 1 round Phantoon counter up to now? 500 or something? It's
a
unreal.
lot.
Unreal.
I mean, so Zeni was the first person to do it in a run, if I remember correctly. And for sure he's the first person to main it as his strategy. So he's truly the pioneer of the one round in the main categories. Now it's been developed and iterated on and scienced and everything, but like he was the first person I remember seeing use it exclusively, and I'm not surprised. Like I see the slow pattern, I'm like, okay, Zeni's going to get a one round here because he's just that good at it, truly.
Yeah, and chat pointing out correctly, just shout outs to Emmett here, who
Emmett, okay, yes.
Yeah, Emmett in particular, I remember when he was doing that, so much of the community was looking at him sideways and going, what are you working on, man? Like, this is so inconsistent. You're wasting your time. And, I mean, look what it kicked off, right? I mean, you've got all sorts of silliness now. You got Ruya pulling these off, Emmett, Zeni, Oats goes for them. Drewski's doing these frame-perfect double supers to get one rounds. All of these different runners finding ways to one-round Phantoon in any percent, no less. Unbelievable.
I knew chat would correct me. No shade intended. So sorry about that.
No, and Emmett, one of the runners to go very deep in this tournament, really had a close race through most of the midsection of the run against Oats. Oats needed to go all out in that one, even to make it to this point. That was in the quarterfinals. So big love for Emmett, who had an excellent tournament himself. And yeah, look at this. Another set of 13x touch times. Zeni in every single one of these races. Oats in every single one of these races. Mid-13. Very, very solid grab times. We have another race on our hand, Mish. This is what we wanted. We got it. Let's go.
These grab times are nuts. Truly.
All right, let's do a quick resources check here. 11-7 for Zeni. So a little low. I might expect to see double super farm here. Let's see. Yeah. Normally under 8, he's going to double super farm here. And knowing the race situation, if he did check at bowling, it's a great time to spend that extra 1.5 seconds double super farming there. Oats on 9 probably won't need to do that. Yep, and does the nice moonfall strat to save another 10 or so frames. Nicely done. Power bomb's not a problem. We love to see that. Go up and pick our Cephy beam, get a little Spazer beam action going here. Of course, we will need this to make that mother brain fight at all tolerable. Not low percent ice, so we'll have just a 60 shot fight. Yeah, and then for those raiders just coming in, another clarification. Boy, we could probably use a command in chat the number of times we've said it, but it's alrighty. We are in a best of 3. This is game 3 of our best of 3. If Oats wins this race, he will be the 2024 Super Metroid any percent SG Live champion. Zeni, on the other hand, because he came through the redemption bracket, it was actually Oats that knocked Zeni out in the semifinals. Zeni needs to win this best of 3 to force a 1-game bracket reset. So best of 3 into a best of 1. Zeni partially on the way to doing that. He's got a strong, maybe not commanding, but a pretty solid lead so far. He was in the exact same situation in the last race, and unfortunately struggled and died on that lava dive in a most unusual fashion. So we're going to hope for a different outcome here for Zeni. I'm sure he's going to nail it this time. But man, we got a real interesting situation on our hands, Mish. Zeni is in position right now, if this result holds, to force a decisive 4th game. We couldn't ask for more in this finals.
If anything has been true so far, is that no lead is safe. I mean, Oats was in what some might call a commanding lead in game 1, and it just flipped on its head like really quickly. Same, of course, last race. So SM, it's not a race in SM unless somebody's died. So we've achieved that. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. We're done with that. But yeah, no leads are safe. Excited to see what unfolds here in going into Ridley.
Nice super drops for both runners. Oats getting an extra one there in Business Center, Zeni getting one on the way down. So being at 10 supers here you're in really, really great shape. You're always going to be very happy about that. Little high five from our runners, just saying hello. Oats saying, I'll see you in a little bit, and he tries to track him down. Bit of a different situation here. Race 1, Zeni was pretty much down the entirety of the race and needing to claw back. Little issue with the ice escape there. That's going to give Oats the potential to capitalize. Let's see if he can consolidate. Yeah, nicely done. So that lead is going to shrink back into the single digits here. Zeni's still ahead, though.
Yeah, those little mistakes definitely add up. You want to minimize this as much as possible. You can't win the race in this part of the run, but you can definitely lose it.
Yeah, very well stated. You can't win it at this part, but you sure can lose it. Unfortunately, any percent, you look at those qualifiers, you look at the percentage of people running PRKD in particular that survive those qualifying races. You know, some of those races are as low as 20-30% of runners surviving the race. These folks are going all out, and it can be really, really challenging to survive, especially this portion here. Ooh, Oats falling down, having to back up with that right side. Nicely done on the backup, though. So giving back a little bit of that time that he made up on Ice Escape, but averting total disaster, fortunately, in that Bubble Mountain section.
Supers look really good for Zeni. I don't think he'll have to do too much extra farming, if any. I mean, he'll probably do one at least.
Yeah, it might be a little different. We'll see if Oats gets really god RNG drops or not. He did leave, he had some real trouble with Attic that sort of sent a ripple effect through the rest. And there's a one farm, yeah, as you pointed out. Oats had that trouble in Attic that sent the ripple effect through the rest of that final seed. Actually only entered LN with, I think, 6 supers. Let's see if he'll be any different here. 15-7, it's not awful. It's not exactly what you necessarily want, but 15-7 is enough that if you get more or less average drops from the Metal Pirates, you should be okay. And he is gonna save that extra super there by missling that first red door.
Wave missile for Oats. He skipped it last one when he was behind, but this makes sense. It's too close to skip it, and it's definitely like it saved him in the first run, right? 29.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be one thing I'll be curious to ask him about in the final interviews. Does seem like a bit of a race strategy change. He did run 15-10 at some points, and so clearly that's a strategic decision here on his part. He did go 15-10 in the second race. He was quite far behind with the early game struggles that he had. Deciding, obviously, here in this case, it's a close enough race. 20-10 is fine, and as you pointed out, that saved the day for him in race 1. All right, here we go. Critical moment here for both runners. Zeni waiting this time, not running to do that short charge through the lag.
Oh, that was a bad short charge. No.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm surprised he's resetting the room here.
Yeah, you got to.
It's curious that he decided not to grab jump there, and just like that, Oats is going to retake the lead. Zeni nicely backing it up, though. I don't know the time. It's usually about a 7 to 8 second loss if you don't, if you have to switch to grab jump. I'm not sure how that compares to resetting the room, which alone is 6 seconds for the door transition. So it's probably pretty break even. But maybe Zeni not feeling as comfortable after the issue that he had with gravity jump. Did not want to repeat that. Feels comfortable with his lava spark setup, and just like that, holy smokes, Mish, we're like almost frame for frame here. Look at this, same door transition.
I think because Zeni ended up, he was still on the ledge. He just reset the room. If he had fallen down, he might have gone for it.
Well, and look, just by the time that we finished each of our respective sentences, Zeni getting top shelf there, Oats dropping down, and Oats had retaken the lead briefly, and we were within a door transition. We are within frames of each other now. These two runners absolutely duking it out, punch for punch, ledge grab for ledge grab. It could not be any closer. Their health,
Zeni a little bit ahead still.
Everything is so close right now. Resources, health. Okay, Oats cleaning that up. He did have trouble with that spark in the second run. Oh my goodness, Mish, I cannot believe this sync. This is unbelievable.
We're 22 minutes into the run and they're synced. Like, what the heck? Come on.
We are 2 months into this tournament. We are 3 games into this match, and we are 22 minutes into this race, and nothing has been able to separate these two runners.
The double KO, both of them.
Unbelievable. Let's go. the same frame that they're sparking on.
6 super drop for Zeni.
What an absolute treat. And Oats retakes the lead. One extra super, so Oats is going to be potentially a little short depending on these bug drops here. Did get one from that first bug, okay. Is he going to get a second one? Zeni does, and Oats does. So they're both in for potential 4 X Factor and 10 Super Fight. Both have very good health and resources. It's all going to come down to this Ridley fight. Who's going to be ahead at the end of this one? Okay, pretty good setup from both runners for the first 2. Oh, Zeni's going to have to bail early. A little bit low, but fortunately no stray particles. Oats going to gain a little bit of time having hit that extra X Factor, but Zeni fortunately getting out of there without particles flying all over the screen. Does save a little bit of health, not taking the extra bonk on that 4th X Factor. Okay, Zeni with the aggressive run under. Taking, a little bit of extra damage here. Zeni not happy with that, you can see on his camera.
He's gotta be careful.
Still okay at 105, but does have to be careful, as you pointed out. He is going to lose time in this fight for sure. Ooh, Oats missing a couple shots there. Not quite sure what the count is. Hard to keep count when there's both runners on Ridley at the same time.
Health for Zeni.
Wow, and a nice quick explosion there for Oats. So Oats is through. Should be it. Oh, okay, but he's
just
above
avoids
health
the
bomb range.
bomb.
Oh boy.
Good grief.
Almost exactly 24 minutes flat exiting for Oats. Let's see these health drops. Is Zeni going to have to pick up this 4th tank?
No,
with
he'll be
160,
okay.
he's... Man, anything under 200 makes me really uncomfortable, but he has to just go. He has to go. He doesn't have time for the tank. Hoping for some good health drops here from some of these bugs.
Decent.
Okay, 215's pretty good. 215's pretty good. Here we go. Oh my goodness, Mish, I cannot believe this.
Yeah, no, Pirates is going to be scary. Praise chat.
Okay, 140 here for Oats, 135 for Zeni, so pretty close. Zeni getting those nice drops, getting the health he needed. All comes down to this manip now. Very, very critical moment in this race. Try and manip these Pirates, these Key Hunters out of the way. Okay, that's okay. Oats did nicely to adjust to that. You can have a very bad situation there with that top Key Hunter is actually running and just absolutely belly flops you
Zeni's
right in the face.
cleanly, no issues.
Did not happen. Oats managed to adjust, didn't take the extra hit, and both of them now can take at least 1 hit without issue in this Key Hunter stairs. Okay, nice clean work there for Oats. He's through. Zeni, I think with this extra hit to take, will probably go for the deboost. Let's see. No, he's going for the clean setup. And he's through, and both runners are out of lower Norfair within seconds of each other.
It never gets old at how good they are at that. Like, in that situation, that little health, no problem. Doesn't even phase them. I'm sure Zeni's heart rate is through the roof, but
I can't imagine. Oh, I can't imagine. Okay, so an extra super drop there. Several extra super drops coming out of the Ridley fight. Oats on 6 now. We'll see if that ends up making a difference. Oh, 4. That's a really nice Sova drop there. Nice super missile drop from the Sova, so that gets Zeni a little bit closer. He should be okay unless he gets really hecked by drops here from Crave. Oats having just a little bit of an issue platforming here, messed up on the bottom and the top of that room. Again, that's going to close the gap just a little bit more, hitting the elevator around 21, 22.
No supers for Zeni.
Wow, 5-second difference between these two runners right now.
It did not drop any supers in that room. That's unfortunate. They have a high drop rate.
Beautiful mock ball entry there for Oats, and Zeni saying, anything you can do, I can do at least just as well. Nice super drop there for Zeni.
Oh yeah, that was good. You needed that.
Missiles are a little close, though. He cannot afford to double missile here. He's going to have to use the extra super. Oh, wait. No, with 2...
Yeah, you should be fine with 2.
No, sorry. I apologize. I miscounted. Yeah, he's fine with 2 here, so he can save the extra super. Should be just fine now with average grade drops. just one super drop for Oats. Zeni going to be hoping for quite a bit better than that, but Oats will be fine filling up on Mini Crate. Let's see these drops. Only one for Zeni also, so he's gonna come in just a little bit under again and is gonna require some extra drops. Hopefully, Phantoon can bail him out, and this does not compound, but we'll have to keep an eye on that going through the later stages of this run. Meanwhile, Oats maintaining that lead of a little bit under 10 seconds. My goodness. I mean, both of these runners just executing at every single stage, pulling off these incredibly difficult tricks. Oats scooping up some of those extra missiles. Did use them to great effect in race 1 with a 6-missile, 2-super save on Phantoon, then showed off that double X factor on that bad upper pattern from Phantoon. So we've really seen it all from Oats. We've seen decalled factors. We've seen the new sort of ground morph Azul setup from Zeni. We're really getting sort of the Bubba Gump shrimp of Phantoon setups from both of these runners today.
Movement looks pretty solid through Meridia. Zeni was bleeding a little bit of time, leaving Kraid's area. He seems to have cleaned it up a bit.
Okay, pretty good resources for both runners. Missile count a little bit low here from Zeni. We're going to have to keep a close eye on things with these Phantoon drops.
What pattern is Snake going to give us?
Okay, standard D setup here. Looks pretty good. Nicely executed by Oats. Okay, and quick 6 super kills. So we've seen everything from Oats. We've seen missile, double super, and 6 super kills. Is 1 super shorter than he would like to be at this situation.
Oh, nice
very good drop for
Zeni.
Zeni. Wow!
Oh, the God drop. Let's go. We're back in this.
Oats should be okay there. He will be down to 0 supers, but with full missiles, he should be fine to clean up this fight as long as his rain dance setup is good. But he won't have the luxury of the extra super. Zeni, on the other hand, is leapfrogging Oats. And now he's the one with the better resources. Unbelievable. And this was the moment, at about the same level of separation in race 1, that Zeni managed to overtake Oats. And Oats going for the extra farm there, didn't need it necessarily, but got that, what is it, about a 30 or 40% drop for the super. Zeni also going for it, also getting the super drop. Are you kidding right now?
Oats farmed that health too a little bit, so definitely feeling the lack of resources right now.
Yep. Both runners sitting at 2010, both picking up those wave missiles, now doing separate setups. The left to right rain dance setup from Oats, the Azul setup here that Zeni has changed himself. This is his own modification on this sort of new age rain dance that you'll see. Ooh, that did not look great from Oats, and the extra particle! Oh my goodness! He needed to get the particle out of the air. Meanwhile, Zeni getting a great setup, a good color change on the belly. Oats really has to be careful
Oats
here.
is in trouble here.
Okay, no, that was.
Oh, Zeni messed up the spark.
Oh
What
no!
happened?
Zeni looks a little bit confused about how that went wrong. Nice timing there. Okay,
Good
no,
recovery.
no chain damage there for Zeni, fortunately. And
Spike
gets the
suit.
spike suit. Oh, Oats spiking up into the ceiling. Oh my goodness. Dre is very red right now, but Oats has no ballistics left, no ammo left. He has to be very careful here for chain damage. Okay, he's fine. He is through, but just like in race 1, it was the Yikes suit in race 1 that cost Oats the lead. It was the setup on the rain dance in race 3. And just like that, Zeni retaking the lead through the tail end of Meridia, and we have another lead change on our hand, folks. Hold on to your butts. We are almost sure to have Zeni ahead at G4 with the absolute most unbelievable situation, losing to Oats in the semifinals, fighting all the way back through that backdoor bracket, and now on the cusp, one Tourian away from forcing a bracket reset and a sudden death best of 1. That is the race situation. That is the situation for this 2024 Super Metroid Any Percent tournament. It all comes down to the next 9 minutes of gameplay. Can Zeni force a game 4?
Meridia is so technical. is so technical, and this run in general is very backloaded in terms of how difficult it is. I'm not surprised to see a lead switch at Draygon. It's just a cruel segment. Could have gone either way for either runner.
Yeah, I mean, it really could have. We've seen the wild swings back and forth, some issues with Dre in both Game 1 and 3 for Oats. Obviously, Zeni dying at Lava Spark in Game 2. Meanwhile, Oats, oh my goodness. Because of the issues that he had with that Dre fight, really rough resources, not getting good drops from Dre, and now can't really afford to wait and just has to YOLO here for Metroid drops. Fortunately, he is 2010, so he does not need full resources leaving here to be okay. But yeah, he couldn't afford to wait at those bugs leaving Meridia. He knows the race situation, I'm sure, at this point, after the issue that he had with Dre. He just needs to push here.
And Zeni's in decent shape with his ammo. It's not like amazing, but it's good enough. You take it.
Yeah, let's see what these key hunters give, or these pirates give him here. So no extra supers. Did get some health and small health and missiles. And we are looking at potentially another 41 here for Zeni. Unbelievable.
Was that there's a 41 entry?
Yeah, it was about a 4x. Yep. High 3x, low 4x entry. Oats looks like he's going to be roughly 20 seconds behind. Does have to missile that. Really wants to hold on to that extra super. Oh my goodness. This is the eye of the storm. We are sitting in the middle of the hurricane right now. A few moments of peace at these G4 statues for each of these runners as they, I'm sure, screen snipe, check on the other runner, see what the race situation is, and Zeni knowing that all he needs to do is hold on for about 7 more minutes, and he forces a bracket reset and a sudden death game for this championship. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, if we thought Meridia was technical, Tourian blows it out of the water, pun intended. It's rough. It's a hard segment, even though it's very short.
All right, folks, here we go. Bless RNG for both of these runners. Oats in particular down to his final super. Let's see how these Room 1 drops treat Zeni. Nice
grouping strategy.
Only the 1 drop, though. Okay, he's going to need a little bit more than that from these next Metroids. Oh, just the 1 again. But Oats still, let's see. Oh, a very strange... Zeni accidentally going to blue there, needing to redo this, and now on 26, he's going to need good drops in room 4.
Oats is 8 supers after room 1.
Oh my goodness, 7. He's plus 7 from room 1, and he's... Okay, unbelievable. Zeni getting to 2010, though.
Oh my god, dude.
Look at the face that he made, Mish. It looked like Zeni was biting down on a lemon at the end of room 4, but he ekes it out, and now Oats needing the drops to get through. Just can't get hecked here. Missling, and he's
Drops
at 2010. Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
Whew. Here we go. We are not quite a baby skip apart. Still anybody's game. Zeni going for the bomb spread. Oats going to go for the single bomb. Pretty clean setup for the 4 jump so far. It looks clean going through the door. Zeni is through. Oats now going to go for the single bomb setup. We've seen him hit 2 3-jump baby skips. Can he shave off another second and make it 3 for 3? There it is. He's through. Okay, he keeps the pressure on Zeni here. Zeni still needs to execute to win this.
Can Oats have a clean zip skip? He's not had a clean zip skip all day.
No, and he can't.
Unfortunately, dang.
So he gives back a little bit more of that time. 56-55, head down for Mother Brain. Keep your eyes on that clock for Oats. Just needs to get through this without turret snipes. Good, good. Okay. 60 shots separates Zeni from a bracket reset. 60 shots separates Oats from a championship victory. About 20 seconds separates these 2 runners. Both at 359 health. Oats holding on to that extra super, opting to use that different setup there. In that Mother Brain 1 kill, that extra super could potentially help him manipulate a better catch-up, and Zeni just getting under the onion rings. Folks, if you're able to keep track of both of these runners' shot counts from Mother Brain at the same time, that is more than we are able to do here in the comms booth. We are just waiting for that catch-up phase. Zeni probably about a dozen shots off at this point. Nice getting above that bomb and underneath it. French fry, and there's that catch-up phase. That first one can really sneak up on you, but Zeni avoiding immediate disaster. Nice dodge there for Oats under those onion rings. Zeni underneath the catch-up. Very close now to being through.
Yeah, Zeni's
and he is.
I think he missed one shot, maybe two.
Yeah,
for sure he missed
beautiful
one.
Fight.
Nice fight.
And Oats with that super in the pocket should just about be through. There it is. But still a pretty comfortable lead. We'll check again if Oats was able to make up any time there on this rainbow beam. Oh my goodness.
Just like he did to Behemoth in the 100% tournament, Zeni is bringing it to Oats here as well, making quite the show out of it. This race isn't over yet, obviously, but
okay, neither running getting good cutscene, by the way. So you can tell by that that back claw that Mother Brain has is slightly overlapping the back wall for both runners. You can save 3 seconds. Sometimes Oats really needing everything possible to potentially pull this out, but they remain about 20 seconds separated, which was the gap that they had in race 1. Unbelievable. Draygon has been the big unequalizer. It was Draygon in race 1, obviously the death at Lava Dive in race 2, and it was Draygon again. Oats coming into Dray with the lead in both race 1 and 3. Dray absolutely owning the day after that yikes suit in race 1, and after the rain dance hiccups in race 3. You've got to think, Mish, that's going to be squarely on Oats' mind should this go to a game 4, which it very much seems like it's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, Draygon is just, there's so many precise little things, and it's all timing based and position based and very nuanced, and one mistake messes up the whole fight. It's so hard. I truly, it's always amazing to see them do the strategies they do for it.
All right, and the final timer is set. Zebus about to explode for the 3rd time in this best of 3 race. The writing is on the wall. Oats just about knows it. Zeni just needs to execute on a couple strats here to close this out. Obviously, it's not over until Samus is on the ship, but it very much looks, chat, like we are headed for a decisive bracket reset, a sudden death game. The last possible game that we could possibly have in this Super Metroid Any Percent tournament.
Very clean escape through the Leodox room. Behemoth Spark easy, no problem. Oats following suit with a great moonfall.
Well, beautiful platforming there for Zeni at the end. Very, very demanding rooms here.
Steam doing its best work.
That is it, folks. Get your GGs in chat. Oh, and Zeni getting
swag. Let's go.
Swag onto the ship and finishing in first place with a race time official of 41:43. Oats just about 15 seconds behind. Zeni managed the come from behind victory in game 1. He managed to make up for the death in game 2 with another come from behind victory in game 3. That is it. The best of 3 is over. Zeni wins 2-1. That is 1 match loss for both of these runners. Oats beat Zeni in the semifinals. Zeni beat Oats in the front door finals. And this is it. The final race is coming. Mish, incredible races, incredible outcomes, and we have a sudden death game to decide the championship. What more could we ask for?
I started to say this prematurely during Mother Brain, but I mean, Zeni did this in the 100% race where he really, like, Behemoth played the entire race and he didn't lose until he faced Zeni. Oats is in the same situation. So we'll see. I mean, game 4, get ready. Get ready. These guys getting 41s like this is nonsense. I love it.
Yeah, let's not lose sight of that fact. We had 2 41s. 2 41s. Not only in this race, but in race 1 also? Are you kidding right now? I can't, like, the level at which these runners are playing right now is just absolutely out of control. Wow, and that's it. That's it. We are going to a decisive game 4. These runners right now are each going to queue up for that 4th race. They're going to take a few minutes here just to reset themselves and make sure that they are able to prepare themselves for this final race. We're going to take a quick and short break just here in a moment. But first, I wanted to say, Mish, thank you so much for joining me in the comms booth. It was an absolute pleasure commentating together. Thank you so much for helping add to the incredible environment in this epic race 3.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Sit tight. We will be right back at you on the other end of the action in just a few moments. Stand by, and we'll be back at you with the decisive final Game 4, the sudden death game between Shiny Zeni and the world record holder Oatsngoats. Stay tuned.
Oh my goodness. In the eternal words of professional tennis player Jimmy Connors at the 1991 US Open, this is what they want! My goodness. Professor School, what are we doing?
We are here to give them what they want, hockey, just like Jimmy Connors, that incredible professional tennis player that the majority of chat probably does not get the reference to, but I do, and that's awesome. He had a magical run in that 1991 US Open, and these two runners have given us a magical performance to this moment. Zeni winning games 1 and 3, winning that best of 3, forcing a decisive sudden death game. It's winner takes all hockey. This is it. There's nowhere left to hide. There's no more I can get it next race. We have had 32 incredible competitors plus all of the additional runners that couldn't even qualify through the initial qualification phase. 2 months of speed running. We are down to this final moment, hockey. 1v1, Zeni versus Oats. This is for everything. This is for the championship. Can you believe it?
I can't, Prof. I mean, you said it. This has been spellbinding. It's been exciting. It's been just beyond compare. Superlative, really. And like you said, Prof, somebody is going to win this tournament.
Someone is going to win this tournament. It is either going to be the current any percent world record holder in Super Metroid, Oats, with a 4036, or it's going to be Zeni, the multiple world record holder over a number of different categories now, 5th overall on the leaderboard with a low 41.0x, knocking on the door of a 40 himself, and certainly capable of taking world record. One of these two runners is going to be crowned our 2024 SG Live Super Metroid any percent champion. We could not ask for more, and man, we're synced right now going through series. Let's hope that we see a lot more of this sync going forward through the rest of this final game.
Oh, no question, Prof. We shout outs to Stravaris. Someone do the dishes with the amount of sync that we've had.
Someone do the dishes. It's been everything and the kitchen sink that these runners have thrown at us. We've gotten, look at this, a 46.04, a high 45 from Zeni. We are just about synced off series, and it is anybody's race. Let's heckin' go.
Oh, this is really something already. I mean, these runners they're literally 2 heavyweight contenders just trading body blows. You got to think about just the mental strain of running this game at such a high level for so long. I mean, whew, it's really been magical to watch, and I'm so excited to be here with you, Prof. It's all come down to this. If you're just joining us here on Speed Gaming 2, this is it. This is the decisive match. whoever wins this race will win the grand finals of the SG Live 2024 Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament.
That's right, Hockey. As you just so eloquently put it, and as Kenny Loggins put it in 1979, this is it.
So good. Oh my goodness. So a little bit of trouble here from Zeni in the parlor. Oats looking just a touch cleaner, a touch smoother. Both of them getting that weave moonfall there. Looking for pitless here in old Mother Brain. But like we've seen it. We never get tired of seeing it or talking about it, Prof, but the boilerplate beginning of vanilla speedrunning here in Super Metroid Land. Gotta grab that morphing ball, gotta grab those missiles.
Gotta grab that morphing ball. By the way, did you know that when Kenny Loggins said this is it in 1979, this is a little known fact and the video is lost, he was actually looking at a very advanced early release of Super Metroid.
Incredible lore, incredible trivia, Prof. I had no idea. I don't think anyone in chat knew that either. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, he picked it up in Business Center.
Yeah, right next to the Babbages or the Electronics Boutique or what have you. Oh my gosh.
All right, but back to the action here. I just want to point something out. Zeni was on incredible paces with including a 4:38 bombs time in that race 1 and was smoking this early game. And for the first time ever, I don't know if it's nerves, I don't know if it's just a little bit of unluck on his part. Couple hiccups here. You saw a door bonk coming out of that climb moonfall. You saw going for that very short hop mock, leaving that first missiles, actually jumping straight up, very unusual and uncharacteristic mistakes. And while Oats is cruising 4-minute time coming through this climb room is unbelievable. Zeni 4 to 5 seconds behind. For the first time, he will not have the comfort of that early game lead. He will start from behind from jump. So a little bit of a different narration here going on as far as storytelling from these two runners' standpoint.
No, for sure, Prof. We've seen it all. They've done it all in this race series, and we're got a lot more action ahead of us as we head to Bomb Torizo. Pretty spicy times here for both runners, but like you said, Oats maintaining a slim lead here. Gonna come down to whether Oats or Zeni get scammed by these Bomb Torizo drops. But 440 flat, that is an absolutely ludicrous bombs time.
All right, it's been all chorizo and no bombs so far for Oats, who's really struggled with some of the drops and execution on BT. Let's see if he can clean that up here in this decisive game 4. The distribution is okay. Should be fine. Yeah, nicely handled. Okay.
Oats able to avoid the decapitation animation, but so does Zeni. So good BT fights for both runners. And I just love the difference. I love how every Super Metroid runner has like a fingerprint that IDs the way that they run this game. Oats going for the more traditional left side Alcatraz, but Zeni with the somewhat more esoteric right side Alcatraz. It's just so interesting to me.
Yeah, just a little bit faster on that right side. Meanwhile, Zeni with only 2 missiles, he took a hit in that BT fight, so did only have 2 missiles leaving. Let's see what he ends up doing here. He has to be a little bit careful not to run through drops and end up a missile short. Yeah, and he ends up pausing and getting the waiver drop. So a little bit of time given back there by Zeni, but at least he'll be whole coming through here with 2 missiles. Yeah, nicely executed. Okay. So quick time check, by the way, Hockey. Zeni had a 6:03 in the last race. Oats with a 6:03. These are elite level times. Zeni not far behind, about 5 to 6 seconds off. I mean, a 6:03 in any setting is incredible. To have this many 6:03s back to back to back in a race is just a testament to the incredible quality.
Not
but no!
again. Not
the double,
again.
It's the double missile. Every so often, you need to. It's a really tricky strat. You actually need to hit the first missile at a certain point, and then you need to move Samus forward in order to Doppler that second missile in such a way that you increase its speed to hit that door. Oats clipping the top of the door with the first one, needing to go back, and just like that, Zeni retakes the lead, but just barely. We are in the same door transition. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. I was about to say, and I felt a little cocky saying it, but I'm like 5-6 seconds. Zeni will have that cleaned up by the time these runners get to Red Tower. Well, it happened a lot sooner, Prof. It happened actually at early Super's mock ball, just getting through the door. But this is, Man, you want to talk about elite. These are the elite of the elite, making it all the way to this grand finals. And Zeni doing his absolute utmost to reset the bracket. My goodness, this is just so exciting.
Oh my goodness, and missing the weave, which is only free if you do it right. Zeni giving
That's
just
right.
a little bit more time back, and they are within a second of each other right now,
Oh,
touching
gosh.
charge beam.
Oh my gosh, it proves to be entertaining. It's a wonderful Sunday. Hope you're all doing out there. Hope all of you out there in viewerland are doing swell. You better have your eyes glued to your monitor, your TV, whatever, as our runners are heading through Green Hill Zone now, on their way to the Red Tower. Still have to pick up those Alpha PBs and then combat the moat. We've seen some difficult moat crossings today, Prof.
We've seen both of the runners dip in on the left side. We've seen Zeni miss a CWJ and dip in on the right side. We've seen pretty much everything that you can see in that room, but the backups have been really good, and both of these runners have been able to execute and stay close to each other, at least entering that wreck chip. We've been very fortunate so far. Zeni losing the lead back to Oats again, going for a double charge shot farm to try to get extra missiles, and then unfortunately missing the gate open at the bottom of that Green Hill Zone. And so that allowed Oats to retake the lead. Pretty good time though, 8:33, 8:34 for each of these runners. It is an absolute back and forth affair. They are throwing rights and left haymakers, as you like to say. It's a real slobber knocker right now, Aki.
This is definitely a slobber knocker, Prof. An old barn burner. I mean, that is the margin that these runners have to contend with, that an extra charge shot for a farm can cost you your lead. Like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, consider my barn burned right now.
Yeah.
Aki.
We got to build another one. We got to raise it all by ourselves. It takes a village, but what also takes a village is crossing this moat. It takes some strats. It takes some panache, if you will, Prof. Well, how are they going to do it?
And look at that dead sync right now. Unbelievable.
Oh, no.
Oats going for that extra charge farm.
Look at this.
Double CWJ attempts on almost the same frame.
Could it be?
Let's go!
I don't believe it.
I mean, it is a one frame trick into a two frame trick, and I'm not sure those 3 frames are currently separating these two runners. Are you kidding?
This is sometimes you just have to just be in awe of these runners' talent and skill, their determination, their intensity.
I mean, imagine a situation, Hockey, where Zoden pumping might put you ahead of your opponent.
I know. Scout outs to Zoden. My goodness. Oh!
Ooh, Zeni missing that P shot angle down, so giving the lead back up to Oats. But Oats missing the run off the platform. And they're synced again.
That's
Holy crud.
so
oh my
close,
goodness.
Bro. But can Zeni pull off the improbable here and get another one-round Phantoon? He's got two of the what, 4 now of this race series.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he's had 2 in back-to-back races. Oh, and the fast for Oats. Alrighty.
This is great for Oats.
So Zeni has had nothing but slows, and that trend will continue. But Oats, unfortunately, not getting the Doppler in there. It's going to be another struggle here. Does get the mid, though.
Oh, that was a really nice Doppler there. So Zeni unable to one round, but still a really nice cleanup on that first Doppler. Can Oats luck out with a good pattern here? Ooh, a mid for Zeni.
Wow, and the on-screen without even jumping over Phantoon, and both runners within just a few seconds, having a little bit of trouble there for Oats, so resurrendering the lead, but cleans it up very nicely, and these 2 runners' kill times for Phantoon are not only elite, but they are separated by mere seconds. 11:20 through the door for Zeni, 11:23 through the door for Oats. 3 seconds and no more than that separates these 2 runners here deep into Game 4, the final game, the deciding game, the sudden death game for this 2024 championship.
I know I've said it 100 times this commentary race alone, but this is just really special to watch these spellbinding runners compete at this level. I mean, just like you said, trading haymakers, left of standing in the middle of the ring. You got to be tired. You got to be mentally tired. Your hands might hurt. Who cares? It's about pride. It's about determination. It's about competition. And a little bit of a cash prize at the end, too.
All right, let's see this attic. Both runners have had a little bit of trouble with this room. Very challenging. Zeni cleans it up nicely. I will point out that both runners were pretty low on supers exiting that Phantoon fight. 1 for Zeni, either 2 or 3 for Oats. So 5 and 7, 5 in particular, a little bit less than what you'd want. Zeni almost certainly will be farming. I would expect, depending on the drops that Oats gets, to see something similar. Let's see if he even skips drops in this room, potentially.
Yeah,
he has been skipping. No, he's farming, yeah. So with 8, I expect him to skip farms. Zeni probably will almost certainly be farming those cacks coming down Red Tower. And oh my goodness, Hockey, every single one of these races, we've had double 13x, like mid 13 grav times. We're about to get another one. These two runners are absolutely putting on a show right now. Nobody wants to relent.
Yeah, they're not giving up any ground to each other. Both are just dialed in right now. Yeah, it's all about consistency. It's about playing through just the mental fog. It's like the fog of war for these runners, and they have been going to war in this series. But you want to talk about consistency and world-class play. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to see a finer race between runners than right now.
Wow, a 2x touch time for Zeni, about a 29, 2-3 seconds behind at the most for Oats. This back and forth affair continues, and Hockey, the real winners here. Well, we'll crown a winner in about 30 minutes or so, but the real winners here, it's chat, it's commentary. I mean, the chance to call this, to watch this incredible showcase, especially with the volatility that any percent brings, what a joy it is, and what a pleasure to have two top-level runners executing and firing on all cylinders. And we had the death from Zeni in game 2. Oh no!
Gotta be careful here.
Okay, all right. And Zeni knows that you can see him looking up at the sky. This is trouble, because he's unfortunately gonna get a health drop from this first cack.
That's right.
In order to get back above 50 and reset that flag. So he's gonna be another super short and is gonna give up this lead. Oh wait, hold on. Oats also farming. Okay,
That's
interesting.
so
I thought with 8 he might not.
I think he really wants to make sure he's maximizing his resources heading into Norfair, to maybe not have to farm too much outside of Speed Booster, but I think we will definitely see some farming there from Zeni, at least on the way out. Oh, heads up play from Zeni there to grab that power bomb. And Oats back in the driver's seat here, Prof.
He is. We were so concerned about the super missiles and the health from the crab hit that failed to point out the low power bomb count for Zeni as well, needing to farm that frog to make sure that he had the 2. And just like that, Oats retakes the lead.
Maybe
and
2
we are
seconds.
both on this Spazer fanfare. Unbelievable. I mean, I've lost track of the lead changes just in this race alone, Hockey.
I know. Imagine the whole series if someone went back and tallied them up, Prof. It's like, this is a dogfight. Like, we're just dogfighting right now. 2 fighter jets just locked in combat here. But yeah, I think that was a really good idea from Zeni to grab that power bomb drop to make sure that you break the tube. It's like you're giving up time earlier in the race rather than later in the race, and it could pay dividends later on.
Mm-hmm. Well pointed out. These two runners in a real dogfight, sort of duking it out here. But I'm glad that you are in the comms booth with me for calling the action, Hockey. You can be my wingman anytime.
Oh, you flatter me, Prof. I appreciate that. I love doing comms with you. And there's no bigger moment than right now between these two runners. So love the new lore drop from Twinmo. This is the Upper Norfair Shopping Center. We got BOGO deals, Prof, beams and movement items.
That's right. And this is, as we learned earlier, where Kenny Loggins found that original early release of the Super Metroid part in 1979. This is it.
This is it. It's right here. Oh, it's so good. So just a little bit of a hesitation there from Zeni. Unfortunately, that's going to give up a little bit more time to Oats here. But Oats choosing to farm. Really interesting play here. Both
okay, so Zeni did get a super drop there. I kind of wonder if the hesitation from Zeni may have been hoping for a super from that Sova. He did get 1 in Business Center, so he is up to 6. But he's going to be quite low on supers and a little bit at the mercy of those bugs, whereas Oats at 9 is going to be in much better shape here. Oh, he does get a super from that Sova coming into ice, so that really helps him a lot.
That was really, really lucky for Zeni. Chat pointing out, though, Prof, that Zeni currently has 0 power bombs. That's not too devastating. What he really needs is supers to progress through Upper Norfair, but he will be needing those power bombs come time for entering Lower Norfair.
Yeah, he should be just fine here. 0 is, depending on how drops work out, 0 is a pretty typical number to be on in this situation. You'll just see him do a 2 farm coming through this pre-cathedral room. That'll put him up to 2, and then he'll unpause. Oh, he'll pause early, take off that ice beam, and then he'll full farm to the 5 power bombs that he wants on those multi-violas just before lava dive. Oh no, missing the second one though. That was you see the confusion of the look of confusion on Zeni's face. He got a high hop from that second hopper. That can happen sometimes. So unfortunately, not getting that second pretty much guaranteed power bomb drop, he is going to have to keep a close eye on that power bomb count. Just as I was explaining that he probably should be okay. Got a little bit of strange behavior from that second hopper.
No, for sure. Love this from Oats, though, getting those Ripper stairs, or at least a single stair, and then the damage boost off the second. I should say Waver. Waver stair into Waver deboost into the Bat Cave. Ripper, Waver, what's the difference? They're all bugs. They're all frogs. Discuss.
Yeah, interesting.
Or
don't. Oats, I thought that was meant for chat.
It was for sure, but
I mean, I can discuss a little bit of frog action if you want. Frog and Toad, Arnold Lobel calls me back to my time as a page in a children's library, but I'm not sure that this is what the folks are here to hear about.
Oh my gosh, Prof, you're a Renaissance man, the modern day Renaissance man, and I love you for it. But curious what they're gonna do here as far as farming here in the Bat Cave. Single far from Oats, that's really aggressive. I love to see that.
No supers for Oats. He's been really hecked by that particular bug farm. Zeni only getting the 1, and just like that, the super count almost even again. Oats is going to choose to missile here. We'll see what Zeni chooses to do and how aggressive he wants to play this.
Definitely
still
aggressive
has a chance
with that super.
Yeah, still has a chance to missile the second door. Both runners will be going 20-10, so they'll both have that cushion. Oats only choosing to go 15-10 in that race 2 when he was so far behind that he really felt the need to be a little bit more aggressive.
Gosh, this is so close. Now, we did see Zeni in that second race tragically die to a Namahe flame. Had a little bit of trouble with that gravity jump after missing the lava spark, but the next game just was flawless through the gravitron. So really curious to see if these runners can keep kind of just banging on all cylinders here, Prof.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, looked like Oats was about to give up a little bit of that lead, bonking on that mock going out of single chamber. Zeni making the exact same mistake, so it's just tit for tat. You do see Zeni getting that early pause here. You'll see in this next room, he turns off ice and sacrifices the 40 frame save that he normally would get from pausing on the elevator so that he can actually farm all... Yeah, so he wants to get his power bomb count fully up, so you see he farms fully. Oh, unfortunately has to go back and will give up a little bit of extra time, not quite getting that farm right.
I didn't quite execute the way he wanted, but will execute here with this lava spark. Perfect execution from Zeni. But Oats building on the lead here, Prof, heading into the most treacherous part of the run.
Okay, so we're good though. We made it through Moat. We made it through Wrecked Ship and Phantoon. Both runners this time making it cleanly through Lava Dive despite the slight hiccup in that chronic boost farm from Zeni. And now both runners just within about an item fanfare of each other. It's still a really close race.
Nice fast approach from Oats. I like these the kind of more modern strat to jump closer to the pillars, saving a little bit of energy there, a little bit of time, at the expense of a little bit of time, I should say. Right into worst room in the game, though. Oats has got to be one of the most consistent worst room in the game completers out there. It's just unbelievable. But Zeni said, anything you can do, Oats, I can do just as well.
That's right. Zeni making up just a little bit of time with that top shelf spark, while, as you pointed out, Oats did that health saver spark. And they're just, I mean, Zeni, as we saw in race 1 and in race 3, back in the position he was in, nipping at Oats's heels. This was almost the exact degree of separation that we saw in race 3. These two runners absolutely going at it all out.
This is so interesting too, that we're seeing something very similar to this episode before. Like, you're seeing the runners give up and make up time in similar circumstances. It's just a testament to how consistent they both are.
Okay, nice Wasteland minute from Oats. Zeni looking for the same, gets the high hop, gets under the third hopper, really nicely done. And the double K go from Oats. Let's see if Zeni can match him.
Beautiful. Just beautiful, Prof. Poetry in motion, as you would say.
Poetry in motion, Hockey. All right, Oats getting fully hooked up. Excellent health. Full supers. Zeni going for a slightly more conservative strat there, trying to save a little bit of health. Only 7 supers leaving, and you can see the real frustration there from Zeni. Does farm an extra one off the bugs from underneath. That is something that he's been doing pretty consistently. Oats only with 3 power bombs, so only going to be able to do 3x at the most here.
Scammed on those bugs. One more. Come on, game.
Oh my goodness.
Not a single super from those bugs. But Oats, only with 3 power bombs, was only able to do 3 X Factors.
Let's see how these X Factors go. First one looks... No, and Zeni has to back out.
Oh, that's really tough. It's a really
gosh,
tough
and
spot
Ridley
to be
flew
in.
away. Nice adjustment there from Zeni with that super into the pause.
It tanked another hit there from Ridley's body. Hopefully could get him into this pogo pattern and get him manipulated properly.
Okay, I do expect Oats to extend his lead here, despite not getting the 4 X Factors. Zeni was only able to do two, and came in with 2 fewer supers.
Wow, what a fight from Oats.
Yeah, beautiful fight.
If you're Zeni here, even if you have single tank health, you just got to go for it. You don't have time to grab that tank. I think you got to just pull out all the stops, Prof.
Yeah, and this is
so
really,
close.
this is much more costly than it was in race 3 when a similar thing happened. A lot of extra swoops here, unfortunately. Oh
Careful,
no!
Zeni,
Oh, he's
careful.
into health bomb now.
Oh, this is a tough spot, Prof.
Come on,
Gotta ride it
Zeni.
out. Just finish off that dang Pelican. Oh, wow. Hard
my
stopping
goodness.
fight. Absolutely hard stopping.
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, just 1 frame less in acid, and he would have been out of health bomb range here, but instead, Zeni is going to be fighting from underneath, trying to come back from both a time deficit and a resources deficit, leaving with 0 missiles and 0 super missiles because he was 1 health too low. And just like that, neck and neck coming into Ridley, and Oats manages to pull ahead by a sizable near baby skip margin here, splitting the uprights very nicely and executing very well. Zeni needing to farm, that'll cost him a little bit of extra
Oh,
time.
you can see the frustration. Got the shake of the head at the Metal Pirates farm. Only getting 2 and 1 off of that one pirate. Oh boy, it's a tough spot for Zeni, but it ain't over till it's over, Prof. Oats, though, is on cruise control here. He's just throttling down the freeway here. Can take some extra hits here against these key hunters, no sweat. But Meridia is a tough section, Prof, and we still have the grade fight as well.
That's true, and really the great equalizer in this race so far, obviously despite the lava dive death that Zeni took in game 2, the 2 games that Zeni won, coming from behind, the great equalizer was Draygon. That must be weighing heavily on the mind of Oats right now. He had 2 very difficult Meridias, 2 very difficult Draygons. The first was a little bit cleaner in game 1, but then had the yikes suit. And then in game 3, the wheels kind of fell off a little bit there in one of the toughest sections of the game. Oats has to keep his nerve. He has to remain steeled, lest he give up this lead for a 3rd time.
No, for sure, Prof. And that was a really, really nice escape there from Zeni. You can see him just keeping his composure, able to execute his game on his terms, and getting the cheeky little ball boost there, leaving Lower Norfair for good. But yeah, Oats definitely in the driver's seat. Resources are looking phenomenal. Definitely the deck stacked against Zeni here.
Oh no, Zeni missing that first power bomb, leaving it too high, and you can see for the first time really in this 4 race set, true frustration. We saw him laugh off that death in game 2, stay loose. Here, unfortunately, though, you can just see the frustration getting to his face, and it's Oats this time that's completely locked in. Zeni needs to clean stuff up here. Little bit of issue with the platforming. Did get a couple super drops, so he's in slightly better condition. He needs to hold things together. It is not over until Samus is on the ship.
That's right, Prof. Not over till Samus is on the ship, and hope both of these runners can finish this race, because there's nothing better than finishing the race. But I think Zeni's resources are going to be just fine leaving Kraid's warehouse, but we've got pretty much an entire warehouse of lead for Oats here. Not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination, but like you said, Prof, Zeni just has to hit the reset button and just focus on the next room.
All right, little high five there from our runners. We've seen it a couple times. Zeni has been in second place the majority of this set, despite the fact that he is up 2-1 in that best of 3. He's just managed to get those come from behind victories. Does he have another one? Can he pull another rabbit out of the hat?
Looking sharp so far. That was a textbook Kraid quick kill. Supers will be topped off after mini Kraid.
Oh, these super drops though from Kraid. Oh boy, he's gonna double missile mini Kraid. He's gonna be up to 7, but I mean, you really want to be higher than that.
I think he'll be okay with 7, Prof. I really do. Maybe I'm just hopelessly optimistic or naive to the importance of supers in Meridia. I know Oats has got great supers right now, but missiles are a little low for Oats. I don't know what ramifications that'll have for the Phantoon fight, if any. We'll just have to wait and see. We got to take it one room at a time.
One room at a time. That's what all of these runners can do. That's what we're going to be doing for you in the commentary booth. Folks, this is the bracket reset. This is the final game. Zeni took the first best of 3, 2-1 to give Oats his first match loss of the tournament. Of course, it was Oats back in the semifinals of this tournament who gave Zeni his one and only match loss. And it is now Oats who is in the driver's seat attempting to claim the 2024 Any% Super Metroid Championship.
It's a nice D-factor strat there from Oats. Very, very patient there with the supers, not wanting to burn any, and gets hooked up pretty well on those Phantoon drops. We'll see if he can pull off the Yahtzee here. Yahtzee!
There it is. So glad you got to call it.
At last.
did not quite happen for you in the last race, despite it happening. It seems to almost every other in every other race that you didn't call.
And throughout the tournament too, Prof. Like a chat was like, "Oh, hockey's gonna get to say Yahtzee," and it just never happened. But Oats is definitely. I said cruise control before. This is like super cruise. This is. Whew, he is just playing out of his daggone mind right now. This is definitely going to be hard for Zeni to catch up, but still able to pull off that one round.
Oh my goodness, just with those 3 missiles at the end, managing to clean things up. Getting 2 supers, 6-2 is a little bit rough here.
Yahtzee! The double Yahtzee, you love to see it. But Oats now opening with that rain dance against Draygon here. Had a tough Draygon last race, Prof.
Oh wow, those Zoas do not like to drop supers, and that was really good for Zeni. So he did lose time there, but he did get the drops that he was looking for. Meanwhile, Oats looking for a clean Draygon, really wants to have a clean fight here.
Yeah, peppering that soft underbelly with missiles.
Oh, going low on that.
Went a little low, missing that spark.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
The diagonal? Are you kidding me? That had lethal consequences. Oh my.
That diagonal spark had me absolutely holding onto the edge of my seat. Hockey. Oats was rattling around inside that hitbox of Draygon. I'm so happy he survived that. He did get another yikes. Oh no, okay, right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
He
got the spike suit. Okay, good.
Oh, but he's in super low health here. He's got to be careful.
Nice setup for Zeni, though. Okay, this is a good pattern. Just wants to swoop here.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, no, Draygon, no.
The spark made contact, unfortunately, with Samus's blue suit, and that spark, oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, my God, Zeni. Be careful.
Oh, my goodness. It was the goo. It was the goo that came in contact with Zeni as Samus was sparking. That caused Draygon to run away, and for the first time now, it's Zeni having trouble with Draygon.
Oh, this is
no.
tough. This is really tough. Using those pseudo screws to great effect, but yeah, just can't do the spark kill. Health is it's just too dangerous.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Gosh, this is tough.
And this, was that a pseudo? No, I thought he had him.
Got 1 HP,
Down to
bro.
1 health. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you really hate to see this.
I know. It's just, the dragon fight is, it's just so hard. It's so hard when it just doesn't go perfect.
He has to survive here and hold on. It is a huge lead now for Oats, but it is not over. Oats still needs to execute here. He needs to get through this baby skip. He needs to get the drops that he needs, and he needs to continue to execute on Mother Brain. It is not over yet, but it is a much, much taller ladder for Zeni to climb now, being so close throughout the entirety of this race so far. Zeni finally giving up the biggest advantage that we've seen. Yeah, and with the low health, unfortunately, not even able to get all the way across the room there.
Yeah. But you know what? You saw him smile and laugh and just kind of throw his hands up like, well, you know, I did my very best, but it ain't over till it's over. There's a lot that can happen. The way Oats is playing, it's unlikely that he would suffer any catastrophic consequences during Mother Brain. But yeah, it's going to be more than a baby skip here, Prof. Definitely more than a baby skip.
Yeah, it is, Hockey. It is. We're just going to have to see Oats surely. Oh, look at that. Look at the eyebrow raise. Oats trying to figure out what's happening. I'm sure that's what we're seeing. Oats looking to his left, knowing that Zeni was breathing down his neck. He checks his monitor at G4. You see the big eyebrow raise there, trying to figure out what happened, realizing that he suddenly has more than a minute lead. I'll be curious to know how he decides to take this. He does have the comfort of, even if he gets hecked on drops at 2010, he will be able to refill after opening a bunch of red doors. So quite a bit of flexibility here for Oats. It's really just the execution on the Mother Brain 2 fight. He's not in a position where he can die to Mother Brain and reset a save, so he still needs to execute, but he is in a position where if Metroid rooms don't go well, if baby skip doesn't happen, if he gets a little hecked on drops, he can survive those things.
He sure can, and he's about to start his Tourian campaign now, Prof. Oats in the driver's seat here in the decisive Game 4 after Zeni reset the bracket with a 2-1 victory over Oats in the opening of the Grand Finals. This is Super Metroid Any Percent tournament action as part of the SG Live right here on Speed Gaming 2. Pretty decent drops for Oats, though, heading into Tourian. I should say Metroid Room 3.
Nice missile strat there, good grouping. Getting a little stingy on the drops there, but he's still just fine. We'll see him missile, and even with very stingy drops here, Oats will be just fine.
I think so too, Prof. I think so too. So Zeni probably feeling a little bit of disappointment, but continuing to press on. This is what determination looks like in Super Metroid speedrunning, Chad, from both of these runners.
Yeah, at this point, it's a little hard to tell, but I think a pre-Mother Brain save could still save the race for Oats. It's a little bit larger of a lead than I realized that it was. That Draygon fight really did cost Zeni quite a bit of time.
I think Chad say it's closer to 2 minutes. I think. And Oats, wow, just
unbelievable.
Flawless.
4 for 4.
Flawless with these baby skips. My goodness.
Pretty much just one final hurdle at this point. Given the size of the advantage, all Oats needs to do is get through this Mother Brain 1 and 2 section cleanly.
Oh, look at this, though. Choosing not to save. That's very interesting. Huh.
Well, I'll tell you what, the story was, some trouble in the early game for Oats in all of the early games, some issues with BT, issues with Draygon. Oats has cleaned up everything in this race. His early game was better this time than Zeni's was. He got through that BT fight cleanly. He maintained the lead through most of that lower Norfair section into Meridia, and he finally executed almost totally cleanly on Draygon, but more than enough to keep himself in the lead. He is now 60 Spazer charge shots away on this beam combo from a Grand Championship Finals victory.
I still can't believe that diagonal spark finish on a Draygon. Like, he was behind Draygon, or like she was moving right to left rather. It's just really incredible improvisation from Oats. But like you said, Prof, 60-shot fight here with one super in reserve. Mother Brain being a little bit on the passive side here early, but now opening with those onion rings and French fries.
Oats holding onto that super as he did before, so we'll see Mother Brain enter that catch-up phase. We'll have 14 charge shots and that one super.
Come on, Zeni, bring it on home. Bring home that bacon. Woo! Great Zeb skip. Not a single Zeb skip missed in this entire series.
That's another thing that Oats cleaned up. Having a little bit of trouble in all of the first 3 races with Zeb skip. Oats getting a very clean one here in this race too. Really executing at the level that he had been. And I think that's it, Hockey. Yep.
That'll do it. Yeah, I definitely said Zeb skip. I meant baby skip. Forgive me, chat, for I have sinned. But we don't have 2 sinners here, Prof. We've got 2 winners, but Oats is going to be crowned the champion, barring some absolutely catastrophic escape.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would need to try to save the animals and then get held down by an Etikun at this point. Kenny Loggins would need to pop out.
It would have to pop out. That's right.
Kenny
Not
Loggins
so
would pop
fast.
out of the ship and grab Samus. This is it.
This is it. Yeah. He'd probably say, "I'm all right. Don't anybody worry about me." You know, I'm leaving a exploding planet.
Oh, but, my goodness! Well,
I can't
Hockey.
believe
We've got a few minutes here until the runners will join us for these interviews. What an incredible race set we had here. I'm not sure we could have come up with a better way to close out this tournament. Looks like Zeni's going to be falling a little bit short, but what a race that these two put on. Zeni doing what he needed to force this pivotal and deciding game 4, and gosh, imagine needing to beat the world record holder 3 times to win a tournament, and Zeni came so close.
As close as anybody ever has. You know, it's been really, really, really exciting to watch. Unlike any tournament grand finals I've seen in recent memory. And that'll do it for the baby. Gonna grant Oats the power of that hyper beam. 36 shots on Mother Brain 3 is all it's going to take, but Zeni having a really nice Mother Brain 2, refusing to give up and going to finish this race.
Oats did not lose to a single other competitor, including a 2-0 win over Ruya in the upper bracket finals. Before getting himself to this stage, Zeni the only one who was able to unseat him in any of these races, and he did it twice more than anyone else, but in the end, it just was not enough. Oats, with that winner's bracket 1-game advantage, was in a situation where he always was able to give up those first races, and he needed them, every bit of them. Zeni putting on the pressure. In game 1, a come from behind victory. In game 3, a come from behind victory, forcing the pivotal game 4, and in the end, it was just too much, and we are just moments away. You can line up your GGs in chat, and with one of the best times that we're going to see in this entire tournament. We'll have to check the actual record, but Zeni with I think it was a 41-14 or so in the lower bracket finals to get to this point. Oats is going to be very close to that. This is an exceptional time.
Absolutely world class. Absolutely world class time. What a way to finish and to just punctuate with an exclamation point this grand finals for Oatsngoats. Into the parlor. Prof, there's nothing between Oats and the ship but one door transition. Oh, look at this. Are we going to see
wow.
Are we going to see a taunt? Are we going to see a save? What are we going to see, Prof?
All right, well, take back what I said about the potential 1x finish. I think it was closer to a 2x. But you know what? With the animals... Oh my goodness, Hockey, we're going to get a 41 with an animal save.
That's ridiculous. Plus the swaggy spark finish there, too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Oats has deserved this moment, playing better than anyone else throughout the overwhelming majority of this tournament, and now finishing first with an official racetime.gg time of 41:51 on the ship. Congratulations to your 2024 SG Live Super Metroid Any Percent champion. It's the world record holder. It's the number 2 overall seed. It's Oats. Congratulations.
What a spectacular finish. But you know what? It ain't over. It ain't over till it's over, Prof. And Zeni's going to finish this out. Zeni's on the escape, Prof. Just what a spectacular display of talent, skill, determination, moxie, panache. Ugh. Phenomenal grand finals.
Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
I saw Zeni roll his eyes at that. I think it was like an accidental D-boost or something in that door transition. But, I think Zeni could take from this that he is every bit as good as anybody in the top 3 or the top 4 in this game. So like you said, Prof, to take 2 games off of Oats, it has not had a single dropped game all tournament long. I mean, that is just a testament to how good Zeni is. He's crazy good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Little left side spark, kind of memeing the end of this tournament here for Zeni.
Oh my goodness.
He's a tournament organizer. He helped put this all together. He's had an incredible run, falling just a little bit short, but better than all the rest. And there he is on the ship with an official time of 43-44 in second place, not just for this race, for this series, but for the tournament. An incredible performance. GG's to Zeni, GG's to both of our runners.
GG's indeed. We will see if our runners will be joining for an interview. I know there's lots and lots to talk about. But yeah, before we even get to that, huge shout outs not only to the tournament organizers, but to Feasel and T Sigma and Rick and everybody else at Speed Gaming that makes these tournaments possible, to all the volunteers, the admins, the commentators, and especially you, chat, for coming out on a Sunday or a weekday, afternoon, evening, whenever, to support your favorite runner or even maybe find a new favorite. So thank you all very, very much. It's been amazing. And we are now joined by today these 2 amazing, storied, superlative runners. We have your grand finals winner and runner-up, Oatsngoats and Shiny Zeni. GG's to you both.
GG's.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where do we begin? Do we begin with race 1?
Sure. I mean, yeah, it was, I always joke about making excuses and stuff, but I'll make a slight one. It was one of those days where, like, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're like, what happened to me last night? It's like you got punched or you're like suffocated in your sleep or something. It was just terrible. So I tried to go for a little run. It didn't really clear my head, but I didn't like the way I was playing. So then it basically just got in my head from the start that I was going to play poorly. And then it's just one of those things. I was like my worst enemy here. And I just didn't play too hot the first few games. And Zeni, you were playing extraordinarily well. So yeah, it was tough. Like I was like, oh man, this is gonna be rough. Like Zeni's playing really good, and I need to up my game, and it was really hard to get into the groove. But yeah, game 1, I'm trying to think of like what transpired. I mean Draygon. Yeah, I don't think I had. Yeah, I don't think I had a good Draygon fight the entire time. Like there was always something wrong in that room. I think all 4 matches. And I think Zeni took the lead there when I missed the spark suit.
Yes,
that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't know how your game 1 necessarily went, Zeni. I think you were having giant spark or lava spark issues.
My game 1, I fell behind in the beginning, and then I had a slow, and then I actually took a screenshot because from there until G4, my split times didn't vary by more than like 0.3 seconds.
Wow.
So So my game 1 was really, really solid. Obviously, you know, you get slow. I mean, what do you do about that? But yeah, it is what it is. As for games 2 and 3, I pulled off 1 rounds of both of those, so I was very happy about that.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, game 2. I mean, we'll just talk about the elephant in the room. So I missed the short charge for Lava Spark, and I decided to just grav jump, obviously, because that's what you do normally. And unfortunately, I repaused too early on the grav jump, and so I didn't quite make it up high enough.
That's terrible.
So I fell all the way back down, and I was like, well, I guess I'll do it again. And when I did that, I jumped straight into a Nami Flame.
Yeah, that'll
and
happen.
I died.
Yep.
So that was my game 2.
Yeah.
How did?
Yeah, game 2 for me. I was so. I don't think I had 1 2-round Phantoon as well. It was all 3 rounds. It's just it was pretty rough. But it wasn't terrible. What was game 2? Game 2 was the game where I had to refill the pancakes and waivers.
Yes.
I didn't get any health.
Before bowling, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You had the trouble with Attic, and that sort of ripple affected through the rest of your run. It looks like you decided to go 15-10 because you either knew or could sense you were behind by a lot. And it was only the lava dive that sort of switched things back up. But it was like 30 seconds at that point.
So I saw the resources situation heading into Attic, and I felt really bad. Oats. I was like, oh, that sucks for Oats. I felt really bad. And I said to myself, I was like, all right, well, I just need to make sure that I don't completely choke the rest of this run, and it's pretty much guaranteed win for me at this point. And then I died.
Yeah, because then you get in your own head about it. You're like, all I got to do is not die. And then that's what happens.
Quickest way to die in this game, right? Is just like, all I got to do is not die.
Yeah.
So after I died, I pulled up Oats' stream and I was watching, and I was like, oh, he doesn't know I'm dead yet. And so I just kept playing, right? And
I was really focusing, trying to make up any ground that I can. I think unless you were playing extremely well, obviously you had already died before Norfair. But I think my Norfair was pretty good, other than I made a mistake on the key hunters, so I sparked too high, and then you don't kill any of them.
Right.
But other than that, I think I was starting to just trying to zone out and focus up a little bit. And then once I saw, I just peaked. I was like,
yeah,
did I make up any time? Like, how do I have to play this?
I saw that moment, right? Like I saw you look over, and I saw kind of like your expression change. And I was like, dang it, that was my one chance, is that he wasn't gonna look. But you looked, so yeah, it's all good. And then I think you said something in chat before that, or maybe right after that. You're like, yeah, Zeni's playing well. I think I had a stroke in my sleep.
That's what it feels like.
Oh
Yeah,
my
like
God.
I lost
Something
oxygen
like
in my sleep or something. I said stork in my sleep, so that just solidifies what I was saying. But yeah, it was rough. Yeah. But yeah, so game 2 was that was unfortunate that you had died there.
It was bad all around. It was bad for you. It was worse for me. So.
And then game 3, I think it was fairly decent. I think you had taken a lead at Phantoon again. And then I was kind of pulling back a little bit. And then I was ahead, right?
Yeah, so I was ahead, and then Lava Spark was in my head, and I missed the short charge again, and I was like, I'm not doing this again, so I just reset the room, and I did it again, and I mean, obviously, I lost a lot of time there, but I think I was like 6 seconds ahead of PB at Wave. So,
wow. Nice.
So that run was going pretty dang well for me, but then that happened. You pulled ahead in Lower Norfair. And then, I feel like I did an okay job of, keeping up from there until Draygon. There was some stuff, obviously, there always is, but, yeah. What happened with your Draygon? Because what happened with me, I accidentally shine sparked at the wrong time straight into the wall. But I was able to back it up and finish the fight. It was probably like a, I don't know, 8-second loss or something. But what happened with your fight?
I missed the first spark. I was rushing my inputs, so I didn't even get the first short charge. So then I had to. That's like, if you miss that, there's really no good backup. You just have to try to get the spark again real quick and take some damage off. And then I kept up sparking. Every single time I would just up spark. I could not horizontal spark at that point. So then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just that bad, or maybe you paid Draygon off or something. Like, something's going on here. And then I knew at that point you had pulled ahead again. And I was like, great, because there's no way Zeni messed it up that bad. I lost, I think, 40 seconds over my split or so, or like 38 seconds. So it was pretty bad. And then after that, I tried to bring it back a little bit. My timings were just pretty off. I've made so many uncharacteristic mistakes. It was like one of those days to where even like supers, like early supers, I missed that twice and had to farm that Gamer twice in 2 runs. Just stuff like that I normally don't make. So then for me, it's kind of, I'm not prepared for those mistakes because I generally am fairly consistent with those things. So then I have to like change up how I'm playing on top of already kind of playing poorly, you know? And then, game 4 was, that was just a good match all around. I looked over at G4 and I saw that you had 1 HP on Draygon. So I was a little confused on what was happening, but I figured Draygon was, coming for us both this tournament. So
yeah, I messed up the fight, and I mean, at that point, I knew that my win condition was for you to die, so I kind of just didn't. I just kind of goofed off a little bit with like pseudo screws and stuff. My game 4. Okay, so it seems like we were pretty neck and neck until about halfway through the run. Is that right? Hockey, Prof?
Yeah, if I could just interject, you'd have to go back and count the lead changes. It would be difficult. Game 1 and 3 were real like back and forth swings where one of you was up, would hold on to the lead for multiple minutes, and then maybe there'd be a late lead change, as you described. Game 4 was unbelievable for the first 20 minutes. There must have been 20 lead changes in 20 minutes. It was unreal.
And you guys were synced for so long, so frequently. Like, it was crazy.
Really exciting. Even entering Dre, it was within about an item fanfare.
Yeah.
And what we were talking about, and then I'll turn it back over to the runners. But Oats, you were mentioning the troubles that you had. You had some issues with early game and BT. You had some issues with Draygon, obviously, and some of the other places with Phantoon and then Zebskip. In that game 4, I think the real narrative for us was that you pretty much corrected completely or near completely every one of those game 1 through 3 errors. And with, minus the animal save, you were on pace for one of the best times in the entire tournament. So, I mean, game 4 was where it needed to matter for you, and you cleaned up everything that you needed to.
Yeah, there was just a couple things like the early supers mock ball. I messed that up again, and then but I mean, other than that, I was trying to remember every mistake that I made, as it was coming and how I can correct it. So luckily, I did correct most things. My Draygon was still a little bit rough.
That's what we wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, we have to know.
We have to know about the diagonal spark. You spent an awful long time inside of Draygon's hitbox, and I was looking at your energy so intently. You ended up surviving the fight with about 100 health, but there was no telling when you were, depending on how much health Draygon had left, you could have chain damage to death there. Were you worried about that, or were you really super confident going into that diagonal spark?
I was fairly confident. I mean,
okay.
I think obviously sometimes it can go really bad, but I just went for it. It's kind of tough too. Like you can die, obviously. I don't know if diagonal spark increases your chances of dying there, but to get an up spark, I would have to kind of put myself in the goop range to where I don't want to take that risk. So if I do try to go underneath Draygon's head and go to the left, there's just goops shooting out. So, and then that would be just a disaster once again. Like my Draygon would have just been, just as bad as the other ones. So that's kind of why I did the diagonal, to get underneath, and just kind of take that risk. And luckily I did correct my spark suit issue to where I could get that, and didn't really have a lot of HP leaving. I only got like one large energy or something, and a couple smalls, but yeah.
But you managed to pull it out. That diagonal spark was a bit of brilliance, I think, improvisationally, and it worked out for you. And that looks like Draygon gets the MVP in the workers' room for everyone on Zebus. I mean, it was like Draygon was unbelievable and difficult. This incredible hurdle for both of you. But despite that, the number of 41s that you two just recorded over the course of that 4-game set is a testament to the degree that Super Metroid has gone in the last few years. It was an incredible series. It was an incredible set. Oats, you obviously pulled it out in the end, but it was just unbelievable. Unbelievable performance for both of you.
Thank you.
I shouldn't have let Oats walk away and grab a snack. That was a bad call on my part.
No, I mean, don't worry. I'm still a little bit foggy here. I don't know what happened, but regardless, it doesn't matter. You were playing well, so
thank you.
I can't. I got to play well as well, regardless of how I'm feeling, right? So you did good, and you played really well this whole tournament. So and yeah, it really is crazy how far we've come in the last couple of years. If you look at the last 90% tournament, man, how many 41s were there?
I think there were less than 5. I know. I think I only got 1, maybe 2.
That's crazy.
It was. I think I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, it's come a long way in the last couple of years. That's for sure.
Yeah, we definitely stepped it up to where now, like the next tournament, whenever that is, next year or the year after, I think we're gonna see just a lot of 41s. You're gonna have to be a 41 runner if you want to place in the top, the tournament. So yeah, good stuff.
Great. A tacit admission, Zeni, that the only way to beat Oats is through gamesmanship. I think not.
Well, I think it's worth pointing out that up until this point, Oats had not taken either a match loss nor an individual game loss. And Zeni, you managed to do twice what no one else in this tournament was able to do, which is to beat Oats in 2 separate occasions. And having to beat the world record holder 3 times is a very, very tall ask. And honestly, you came one Draygon fight away from doing that. It was an incredible performance, not just throughout the course of the tournament, but in this finals matchup. You gave us an unbelievable performance, and it's a very, very well-deserved finish for you.
Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I also just want to ask, I guess Prof probably would have been the one to notice more, but Hockey, maybe you noticed as well. I was not getting drops.
No, you were not.
In game
you
4.
were not getting anything. The bugs, the pre-Ridley, you got no supers. None. 0. Like, those are almost guaranteed from those stupid little bugs. You got none.
Man.
It was that way the whole race.
Yeah,
I got
crazy.
1. Let's see. I didn't get enough missiles from Phantoon to even try 1 round. And then I only got 1 super from Phantoon after the fight.
Yep.
And then I wasn't full on things leaving speed bugs, despite really I should have been, based on if I remember anyway. And then yeah, the Ninja Pirates scammed me. The bugs scammed me.
Yep.
Yeah, you were on like
Powerhouse
7
scammed
supers entering Ridley, I think. You were well below average on every drop rate except for one that stood out to me, which is you got screwed going through Phantoon and you farmed the Zoas, who have a terrible super drop rate, and you got like 3 from that one farm.
I did get hooked up there. Yeah, that's.
But
that's true.
other than that, no, you were well below average on all the farms that you would normally go for in a run. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and it changes how the gameplay goes. And in the end, it was just a little bit too many things to overcome. You came very close though, and it was an incredible race. Big congratulations. We haven't said it officially on stream yet to Oats, but congratulations. This is a huge championship victory for you. 2024 SG Live Any% Tournament Championship. It's the category the most people run. It's probably considered by many the most prestigious to not only be the world record holder in, but to be a tournament champion. And you did that today by securing this victory. So big GGs and congratulations on this huge tournament victory.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I had a lot of fun this whole tournament. So.
Yeah, it's been a good time. Thank you for participating, Oats, and thank you to everyone who did, and thank you for Speed Gaming hosting for us. It's been a really awesome tournament. I feel like we've had some really cool races, and I feel like we've seen a lot of progression from multiple people throughout the course of the tournament as well, which is cool.
Yeah, that's what I like about these tournaments, because it's pushed a lot of people. There's so many people that are extremely close, you included, to sub 41, which is, it's a really crazy time for this category. And it wasn't too many years ago when there's only a couple people with sub 41. Now I think we're about to see, probably 4, 5, 6, 7 in that range soon. We already have 4. So 5, 6, 7, 8, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say thanks to everyone that's organized this. I know a lot of work goes into these tournaments. So thank you, everybody, for doing this, and really appreciate the hard work you all put in. So
I also need to thank QZCX and Sassy Zeni specifically for their help as organizers, and of course to the Speed Gaming volunteers and Speed Gaming staff for all of their work making this happen. So that being said, I think Speed Gaming Live in person is starting soon. Prof, do you want to talk about that for a hot minute before we end here?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited about that. For those in and around the Herndon, Virginia area, it's an awesome time. It's one of the best represented tournaments as far as Super Metroid community participation. We've had a really nice long stretch of Super Metroid community interactions there, so we do encourage you to come into town if you can. That's going to be an on-site tournament, all qualifiers on-site, for a 10-person Super Metroid randomizer tournament. I will be there. A number of other people from the community will be there, including people who've participated in this Any% tournament. So we look forward to seeing you there in Herndon, Virginia, and it'll be a good time. That starts on Wednesday night and runs through Sunday of this week.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, I won't be there, but I'll be sitting here at home jealous of everybody who's there. So, But yeah, thank you also, I forgot to mention, thank you to all of our commentators, Hockey and Prof, of course, and then we had Mishrak, and we also had, it's escaping me, Kip and Sloters. So thank you to all of you. I am looking forward to watching these back at some point, so.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you. And appreciate everything, everyone. GG's again, Zeni.
Yeah, GG to you too.
It was an absolute privilege, Zeni. Thank you very much for tapping me on the shoulder to do this comms, and Prof, it's always a pleasure. So thank you both.
Thank you so much, everyone, to the runners, to the organizers, and chat who all made this an incredible show from start to finish. To my co-commentator, the Hockey Towner, it was an incredible time to be with you together in the commentary booth. For both you and me and Kenny Loggins, folks, this is it. This was, in fact, the end of the 2024 Super Metroid SG Live Any% tournament. Congratulations to our second place winner, Shiny Zeni. Congratulations to our overall grand champion, Oatsngoats. A huge tournament victory for him, to be sure. And with that, as Hockey always says, take care of each other, and we will see you next mission.
Okay. Yeah, that was brutal. Jeez Louise. I was averaging like 41-30 times or better, and then this is like just terrible. But it doesn't matter. What matters is I did pull it together in the end, and I had a pretty decent run, so. Are you rich now? Yep, $300 million. I played well the last game, yeah. This Draygon, I never have Draygon issues, and all of a sudden I'm just getting wrecked. You know. Synchronized CWJs. No, they haven't been. Yeah, I've been playing well playing the map randos. I just slept weird. Like, I slept in and I didn't want to. And I just felt like really awful in the morning. Like my head just felt heavy. I went for a run. It didn't clear my head at all. Like I couldn't focus. I was like, oh shit. Like my mind was just going crazy with different things. And yeah, I was like, well, this ain't gonna be good. Like one of those days I cannot like kill the noise. And it was yeah, not good. I mean, I still ended up winning. I played well the last match. All right, let's take a look here. Synchronized CWJs.
Large farm.
Look at this.
Double CWJ attempts on almost the same frame.
Could it be?
Pretty close. Zeni's, I think, like a frame ahead.
I mean, it is
But now, I'm a frame
one
ahead.
frame
It really
trick
doesn't
into
matter.
a 2-frame trick, and I'm not sure those 3 frames are currently separating these 2 runners. Are you kidding?
This is.
That's. I think that's a exact frame tie. A little bit off though on that, but still, it's cool. You shouldn't play Draygon's Lair. Yeah. No, that improved my abilities. If anything, Draygon's Lair. Yeah. Greatly improved. I just couldn't capitalize on it, yeah. Okay, thank you so much for everything, everyone, during that. Thanks for supporting me. I did have the chat closed for like the last 2 matches because I just was trying to eliminate any distractions. Normally I keep the chat up because I don't like changing the I don't like changing anything about how I normally play, but I feel like I didn't have a choice. I did have to troll you guys because you always tell me to you always tell me to save this ship, so I had to troll you a little bit. Thanks for the support once again. The 90% tournament was a lot of fun, and yes, we did end up winning. So good stuff.